faded, 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 faded.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube. Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Go, go, go. I told that bitch don't get in my car if it don't come with no neck. I told my niggas I don't like the beef cause that don't come with no check. I told my niggas to mark my word, I guarantee that I'm next. I got the arms of a bodybuilder from the way that I flex. I just hit the strip.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Can y'all hear me now?
They know what the fuck I'm on.
Can y'all hear me now? Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Big Niche. Can y'all hear me now?
I'm a master with a head. Don't let these social fool you nigga broke. I know that they ain't bought it. Ain't got no car but talking shit. Okay, then little walkie talkie. I told that bitch to come home. I ain't got time for no bitch that's stealing. Fuck the blood, she called me daddy. And I'm screaming like no dick. I'ma make sure she come. I'ma fuck her good with my tongue. I know the night's still young. So baby, let's get it in. I know that how she likes tonight. She special, she added a friend. They ain't identical, but they fucking like so in the bed. I call them twin. I call them twin. I call them twin. Bitches, shoot. One blow, one equal two. What you tryna do? Go back for back, check, swoop. Either way it go, I'm on. Either way it go, I'm gone. Brody them just got like 100 on me, they tryna get them gone. What you call it, Jet Wet? What's the name? And he put it in his song. Brody them got a Pierce product, pink, you know this shit is strong. No diddy. I'm type nigga to turn my bitch up in each city. Brody got out, we sellin' brain, we hit the gritty. I'm ask no question who young and the latest. If you want your bitch, then when she talking, hear her. If I want the bitch, I'm going Pittsburgh. Still her. I keep some on the side, I don't have trust in just the main bitch. Suck me up while I'm driving like damn, I die by this lane switch. She a different type of freak, so we ain't never got a tussle. Throw it back like Miss London, some of you like be hustle. Yeah.
Oh man, double tap the screen, shut a live out, chat. We are 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. If you're watching on the playback, be sure to comment throughout, man. Weekender plug is in the building. I know I had some technical difficulties, man. I was recording videos earlier, man, so I'm sorry, but we here now. Jason, you said you wasted 5 minutes. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, man. We got an action-packed episode. We got Kamala Harris is running for president again, and Trump admin says self-deport or face a 10-year visa ban, man. We got an action-packed episode, man. We got, let me give y'all the rundown again, you know, because I kind of gave y'all the rundown, man. We got the guy who got self-deported, man. He said he was in America for over 20 years and overstayed his visa. He was caught and deported to the UK. He says he hates it. It's a slum. It's trash. It's just run down. It's a third world country outside of England. He also says he was given a 10-year ban, but he is blaming his parents, and we're going to get into why he's blaming his parents here in a minute. Also, they busted a massive baby factory operation while investigating a child abuse case. Human traffickers are now abusing surrogacy as a legal loophole to gain custody of infants, only to sell them to the highest bidders. I think these people are actually selling them to Chinese investors. Then we got Ron Simmons says the FBI tried to get him to delete his Charlie Kirk assassination video. He said that he reached out to being transparent to the FBI, like, hey, I got this video of Charlie Kirk's assassination. They was like, yeah, just get rid of it. And then they actually followed up with him once or twice to make sure he deleted that video. So he's speaking out and posting that video. Also, we got King Randall, the guy that goes out there and he's with the boys in the community, teaching them how to be men, remodeling houses, doing oil changes, changing tires, shaking hands, greeting each other like men, etiquette, all of that. He's saying that he's been offered $20,000 if he disassociated from MAGA. And he's like, look, man, we don't have any political party affiliation, man. We just teaching our boys trades and learning faith and discipline. Like, we're not teaching parties over here. We're teaching purpose. And I want to know how y'all feel about that. Also, we got another 15-year-old boy that says he wants to get his family out of the hood. He's also already amassed $1 million in scholarships and straight A's. We're going to get into that. The long form we're going to watch is BBC, no Diddy, no Epstein, no Drewski, sat down with Kamala Harris and she says she's gearing up for another presidential run, man. We got some more miscellaneous clips. And we're also going to cover the Nigerian Christians. We're going to cover the Nigerian Christians, man. I told y'all we're going to keep y'all updated on those Nigerian Christians. We're going to see what's going on with them as well. Yeah, chat, we got an action-packed episode. I hope y'all ready, man. Are y'all locked in? I need to know are y'all locked in, chat. Are y'all locked in? Christopher Samuel, are you locked in? LL, are you locked in? Pinky, are you locked? H Buster, Big Niche, and Bree, are y'all locked? I ain't even got to ask Lala. Are y'all locked in, man? What were you doing? Let's go, chat. We got this first clip right here. This guy is calling out all the black folks that voted for MAGA. He's calling out all of the black MAGA voters, man. Let's see what he's talking about. See if y'all agree with him or not, man.
Last couple days, I've gotten tons of hate mail from black Trump voters. Now, right off the bat, if you're black and you voted for Trump or you're still supporting Trump, you are delusional. If you think Trump, I've known Trump for 30 years. If you think he's pro-black people, you're completely delusional. I've been to Mar-a-Lago, I don't know how many times, and I've never seen a black person there. And Mar-a-Lago is a huge place. There's 1,000 people there when I used to go there for a fundraiser or an event. Never seen a black person. I've never seen a single black person there. Okay?
All right, so this guy said he been to Mar-a-Lago a whole lot of times. He ain't never seen a black person there. He done been at Mar-a-Lago with thousands of people and ain't never seen a black person. Now, I think Trump probably has had a black person or two at Mar-a-Lago. It's probably not often. But I don't know, Chad. Do y'all think Trump has never had a black person at Mar-a-Lago, or just maybe while he wasn't there? Because he sent 1,000 people. Is probably a donor. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking, Chad. Do y'all think Trump had niggas at the big house? Let's just call it what it is.
Trump is not a fan of black people, but you probably didn't see this. If you're still supporting him, you probably didn't see how he snuck this in a couple of days ago. So a couple of days ago, if you're not familiar, Trump...
All right, y'all say it's echoing. See, it was something I had done earlier. It was something I was doing earlier. Let me get this echoing shit up out of here, man. All right.
Pulled back the law that kept federal workers in federal buildings from segregating bathrooms, drinking fountains, work areas from blacks and whites or any other race. Okay, it was always black and white, but that's what the law says. He pulled it. Okay, now we're going back to the days of the early 60s, late 50s, 1950s and before, where there were black colored water fountains is what they called them for coloreds, and white water fountains, and restaurants, and now in federal buildings, they...
All right, Leland, I appreciate you for stopping through, man. You get them kids to sleep. Fall back in, man. That's the club tonight. We hanging out, man. Fall back through, Leland, when you get them kids to sleep. I just had to put mine down.
Against you. Okay, let me tell you, if you didn't know that, let me tell you what's next.
If y'all didn't know, man, this is almost plug after dark. I know it's the weekend, but get ready to round them kids up, man, and put them damn kids up, man. This is plug after dark, man. It's the weekend, baby. We weekenders or what, man? Or where my weekenders at, man? We got to put them damn kids up, because I'm finna get the cuss in here in a minute, man. Get them kids together, man. We'll see you in a little bit, Leland.
Next, it's coming. Watch. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. Now, if you don't know your history, that's what Martin Luther King died for, basically. Okay? That's what John Lewis used to march in the streets for. Jesse Jackson, all these guys fought for this to give so people could not discriminate. The government couldn't discriminate, citizens couldn't discriminate, companies couldn't discriminate against people of color. Okay? If he pulls that, we're headed back to 1950. And if you're black, you ain't going to like it, let me tell you. Okay? I don't know how many of these people that are sending me hate mail that are black are educated people, but if you know your history, I don't see how you're supporting Trump. Wake up before it's too late. It's going to take generations to pull this back together if we ever do, and you don't want to live in a country when you're a black person that's circa 1940, 1950. It was not a pleasant experience. Okay, that's why the civil rights people marched and did all the things they did, because they had real guts. They weren't sitting back. Another thing I'm getting from black people is, oh, well, you can march now. We did it in civil rights. It's your turn. Are you kidding me? If you're not a wealthy white male, coming after you. He's coming after your rights. Women, Hispanics, military people as well. They're a minority as well. He has...
Bruh, I'm not gonna lie, dude came at the black community, man. He just came at the black community and said, y'all need to get that shit together. Well, I can't exclude myself from the black community, but I didn't feel like he was talking to me in that video because, I criticized Trump. I think he's talking about the black MAGA supporters that see no wrong in nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like the real deal black MAGA, like dark MAGA, black MAGA. It's some people who, you know what I'm saying, if Trump pissed, they'll try to catch it in a Dixie cup, man. Straight up. It's some people out here that if Trump pissed, they will try to catch it in a Dixie cup and call it gold. Straight up. Let's get into the guy that got deported, man. He's saying he got deported, man. He can't come back to the United States for 10 years, so he a little fucked up about it, man. He a little fucked up about it. He ready to he got to bring his fiance over here, but he's blaming his parents. He's blaming his parents.
I got deported after 20 plus years and 97% plus of my life in the United States. ICE agents picked me up in Chicago and threw me in jail for 3 weeks because my parents did not file my paperwork correctly. They brought me to the United States on a visa, overstayed that visa, had opportunities to appeal it in court, and my father did not show up to court. Now I'm in the United Kingdom, and this country sucks. And it has made me more America first. because you see that outside of London, all of England is a third world country, a dump. I hate it here, and I am excited and ready to go back to the United States, but I have a 10-year ban to wait out, and I'm waiting to bring my fiance over because I had a wedding scheduled that I had to cancel, and it's taken everything in me to forgive my parents for what they've done to me and what they've caused, but I'll keep going on. Yes.
So who do y'all blame right here, man? Do y'all blame his parents or do y'all blame him because he is grown? He old enough to get deported. I'm assuming he's probably in his... How old did he say? He said his parents brought him over here and he's been here for 20 years. So he was probably, I don't know how old he was, man, but I'm assuming he's older than 18, 19, 20. You know what I'm saying? So should he have went on and handled that business on his own, or is it his parents' fault, man? Y'all let me know. Who do y'all blame in that situation? Is it a combination of both? Because I'm just looking, bro. It don't look like he's just young. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, you look like you about my age. It look like you might be a third ball, my boy. I ain't gonna lie. You might be a 30 piece, my boy. I ain't gonna care. You might just be a 30 ball. Alright, this the baby factory I was telling y'all about in the intro.
But it's under investigation for being a possible factory. A baby factory.
We believe that it extended beyond our city and into possibly other parts of the country and maybe internationally.
Arcadia police stumbled upon this house on Camino Real Avenue while investigating a child abuse case. A 2-month-old suffering a traumatic head injury. After getting a search warrant, detectives seized security cameras from inside the home and made some alarming discoveries.
We discovered numerous children, 15 children to be specific, ranging in ages from 2 months old to 13 years old. Many of the children were birthed through surrogacy, and then the male and female at the residence took legal guardianship of those kids.
6 other kids, investigators say, had been moved to other homes. All 21 of the kids confirmed to be the children of this.
Hey, look, y'all. I got a video on my channel that got Hakeem Jeffries in it. Look, when y'all go watch that video, it's going to be a little hype button. I need y'all to hype that video up for me, man. I need y'all to start using them hype points over here on the Pluxation, man.
65-year-old Guajun Shen and 38-year-old Sylvia Zhang.
I would point out as well that, shockingly, although this is clearly a case of human trafficking, the surrogacy agency that you just saw in that clip is still continuing to operate. All they did was change the name of the business, and they're still in business now.
That's extremely disturbing, but it's not surprising. We've heard stuff like that before, and so there needs to be action taken on that front, because I don't understand how they could so recklessly do something like that. I know it's more speculation because we might not have any proof of it yet, since this is kind of early on, it sounds like, but do we know what they're doing with those children?
If you do look into the case, you can see that the intention was to supply the surrogate children, because not all the children in that report were surrogate children, to overseas customers in China. Now, to speak to what you said, how can this be happening? This goes back to how this industry began in the 1990s, and it began with a ruling in 1993 in a California court that basically classified human life as the property of the person who commissions the baby. They call it commissioning. So if you go to a surrogacy agency and you pay them because you want a baby, from the moment that that egg is fertilized, it is your property. The mother who bears it has no rights. They don't even call the surrogates mothers, they call them gestational carriers. And in several cases that you can look into, horrifying cases really, where the babies are going to be supplied to people who are definitely going to neglect or even abuse them, the mothers attempt to get them back, and the courts say, well, you can't because that person owns them.
Buying babies for God knows what, man. Surrogates out here, man. Protect the damn kids, man. We gotta protect these kids, man. Protect these kids, man. Straight up. This is a guy right here that seems to be like he's protecting these kids, man. Seems like this guy right here is a good man, a good role model too, man. I'm not gonna lie, he inspired me with the shit he doing with the youth over there. I don't even know where he from, but I told y'all, every time I see him doing this thing, man, I'm gonna repost it. Maybe not on here, but on Twitter, I'll for damn sure repost it.
So I shared this on Twitter a while ago, showing that somebody said they give us $20,000 for disassociating ourselves with MAGA and Donald Trump. all our content does is teach our students how to work on cars, work on houses. We teach them faith, how to pray, teach them about God. We teach them many different things, from etiquette, etc. And the first thing somebody said was, well, we'll give you $20,000 as long as you disassociate yourself from MAGA and Donald Trump. But why is it that when I'm teaching faith, hard work, discipline, how to not be a victim, etc., you automatically assume that's got to be Donald Trump and MAGA? But what's wrong with what we're teaching? And there's nothing wrong with what we're teaching. And if you like what we're teaching, why automatically assume it's got to be MAGA and Donald Trump? That says a lot more about you than it does about me. It says a lot about you. We're going to continue teaching faith. We're going to continue teaching God. And we're going to continue teaching country. And we're going to make greater men for this country. Thank you so much. So I shared this on Twitter a while ago, showing that somebody said they give us $20,000 for disassociating ourselves.
So that man right there stood on business, man. He told them like straight up, man, we just teaching the kids to be men. You know what I'm saying? We turn them boys to men. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Shout out to Buddy, man. Alright, I don't know, man. Have y'all seen this Call of Duty mask that the ICE agents wearing now? They saying the ICE agents using Palantir technology, man. They know exactly who you are. They tracking your credit cards, your phone calls, and even your Uber rides, man. They snatching people out the Uber, man, and they wearing these kind of masks, man. How do y'all feel about them wearing the Call of Duty mask, man? It's like they coming through with the Call of Duty mask. I'm not gonna lie, they pull up on you with one of those masks on, bro. It might be all bad, bro. I'm just gonna keep it real.
I was pulled over while working. I want this documented. This is, who are you? Who do you work for?
I'm with ICE now.
With ICE? Okay. Yes. But you pulled me over.
Yes, you had
I'm transporting a passenger, yes.
And he had a warrant for his arrest.
And what was his name? Yeah, I could let you know, but you didn't even tell me his name.
We don't have to tell you.
And you almost caused me to crash.
Okay, we'll just pull you over. It's okay. Now we got him in the vehicle? Thank you, man.
He told that she wouldn't even tell him his name. He wouldn't even tell her his name. Like, just pulled over the Uber, got him out the Uber. So how do they know he in the Uber? They got to be tracking the credit cards. They got to be tracking the Uber and everything. They knew exactly what Uber he was in.
Y'all don't even close my doors or anything. Y'all almost caused me.
Or do y'all think they was just watching the crib?
Get a crash and everything. This is insane.
They saying that mask was identifying the people.
All that face is covered. Pulling me over. Causes you to almost crash. You can't even avoid them.
So how do y'all feel about that, man? That mask right there. They saying that mask right there is identifying people. They saying it know what's going on right there. They saying that's Palantir technology, man. They're using tech from Palantir to track illegals via cell, credit card, and even Uber. They know where all the criminal aliens are. It's just a matter of picking them up. That's what they saying going on. How do y'all feel about that, man? I ain't gonna lie, that shit'll look crazy. Alright, chat. I got like a couple more miscellaneous clips, man. Then we're gonna get into the Kamala, man. We're gonna get into the Kamala talking about running for president. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal, man. We 25 subscribers away, man. We gotta get that 25 subscribers.
Problem right now?
You're gonna pull that up?
Alright, this is dude. He arguing with his girl right now, and she get the spazzing out on him. So I'm pulling this up to say, man, look, it's okay, man. It's alright, man. He handled this in a pretty good way. He didn't hit her, he didn't yell at her, and she just wowed the fuck out on him. You gotta know when to get the hell on, man. Men and women, y'all gotta know when to get the hell on. He tried to part ways peacefully, and she crashed out on him, man.
Problem. Do you actually want a serious problem right now?
You're gonna pour that over me?
No one's trying to pour anything over you.
Okay, put that down then.
Are you gonna drive me home or not?
No, you're disrespecting me, so you can get out of my car and...
Oh my god! You're so soaking wet and disgusting, like a fucking rat. That's what you deserve. Look at you, you're such a disgusting rat.
Now that's where she took it way too far. She just spit on that man, bro. She just spit on that man. Not only did she beat him with a plastic water bottle, man, she just spit on that man, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know how to take that one, man. She just spit on that man, bro. A big loogie, man. Y'all know the weather changing and shit, man. She might have been a little sick. Alright, these the Nigerian Christians, man. He's speaking about, he said they burned down all the houses in his village, and all of their crops, man. He said this morning they had to bury 29 people. This is the Nigerian Christians that are being persecuted right now, man. Prayers for the Nigerian Christians, man. Prayers for the Nigerian Christians.
And I live in Roof. Roof is close to Bwai, and the surrounding villages around. They are within my district. And actually what happened is that there was a serious attack from the Fulani, let me put it that way, who came in the night and stormed the village called Kubat, where over 30 people, men and women, young and children, were killed. And as of yesterday, around Murisht, Juak, and other villages around. Yesterday there was a serious attack, even on our way going there to see all that was happening. In fact, we were trying to reach to Kubat, where they killed 30 people. In fact, the Fulanis raised ambush on us. We had to be scrolling on the ground under the flying bullets, and God in his own way, we were all safe. And the villages around, most villages, virtually every houses were set ablaze, and all their grains were all burned. Houses were burned, properties were destroyed. There was looting. We saw them. We even saw the machineries, the attackers in their hundreds, their thousands, you know, and they were open fire, exchanging fire with the military that were around. And this morning, we were trying to bury 29 people that were killed in Funzai, and immediately after we finished, we wanted to proceed to Kubon, the Kubat, where they were doing another burial. And there was a security alert. The security that were around said, no, we can't go there. And they were asking people to leave, and we were running. Right now, men and women, you can see the police, they are also getting out of the place. You know, the situation is bad. The situation is terrible. I just don't know. Looking at the attack, one will say, this is a well planting, it's a long planting, well coordinated, and they have achieved.
Damn, chat. That's crazy, man. Prayers for the Nigerian Christians, man. Say 30 people got unalive, man. Men, women, and children. Say every house in the village was burned down and all the crops were burned down, man. Prayers for the Nigerian Christians over there, man. Dang. Alright, this lady right here says she infiltrated Antifa in Portland.
Independent journalist and host of Decode the Left. So, Caroline, you've been out there and checking out some of these Antifa tents. What have you seen?
Yeah, Jesse, I've been actually undercover with Antifa at multiple events in the past week, and I'm now in Portland, where I've been at the ICE facility, where you're right, they do have a ton of mutual aid supplies at the tents, but what's more interesting to me is actually the graffiti that I've seen around the ICE facility, where there are multiple calls to kill cops, kill ICE, that are posted on public property all around the blocks in the vicinity.
All right, so they've been under a little bit more pressure over the last couple weeks. There's been a lot of heat on them, the media heat also. There's been more manpower out there. How have Antifa adopted?
I mean, I would say from my perspective, and again, I've been out in Portland for several days now, I actually have not seen a lot of additional manpower here. And so for Antifa here, it seems to be pretty much business as normal. They're still being disruptive and blocking the roads. They're actually holding a giant disco dance party outside the ICE facility tonight, so I'm sure that's going to lead to some chaos.
All right, so they don't work. They just, what, dance and light fires all night?
Well, I think some of them do actually have jobs. I mean, these are teachers, some of them are lawyers, some of them, they're Starbucks baristas, they're Amazon employees. So I don't necessarily agree with the notion that they don't work. And that's actually part of how they fund all the supplies in those tents is through something called mutual aid, where they take their salaries and they're donating to those supplies. But certainly there are some that are kind of out there 24/7.
All right, so some do, some don't. But you're saying there's teachers who teach elementary school, and then at night they throw Molotov cocktails at a building?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I was just undercover at a couple anarchist book fairs over the weekend in both San Francisco and Seattle, and there were absolutely teachers in the crowd there, and I picked up multiple stickers and posters with Molotov cocktails, call to kill ICE, and calls to kill the police.
Wow. All right, well, the police seem to be on their side. We've seen lots of video where it looks like they've given these people shelter, acted as human shields. Have you noticed that?
I've definitely noticed the police taking what I would consider to be a rather lax approach to Antifa, especially in Portland. Now, this might not be directly their fault. I think they might be getting orders from above about what they can and cannot do. But I haven't seen arrests. I haven't seen any sort of use of force against these people that are out there causing problems every single day.
Yeah, it's the politicians. They tell the police chief not to be too tough on these people, and now you're seeing the results. Well, great reporting. Keep up the great work, Caroline. Thank you so much, and stay safe.
Yeah, that's crazy. This was she went undercover at, man. This was happening at where she went undercover at.
Happy birthday
So yeah, the blonde chick just went at everybody, man. They said she cleared it out over there, man. She aired everybody out. The blonde chick aired everybody out over there outside at the Portland, or outside the ICE facility in Portland. This guy's just trying to give an interview. Oh, I hear a taser. I hear a taser. Oh yeah, they doing a lot. I heard a taser. Did y'all hear the taser? Press 1 if y'all heard the taser, man. Alright, chat, this is the last clip. Then we finna get into the Kamala. This is the last one right here, man. Let's see. Alright. This girl right here is calling for everybody to go over to Walmart and get the stealing on November 3rd. I would not be participating, but I do have quite a few questions. Like, I thought y'all was boycotting Target. So if you boycotting Target, why the hell would you go off in Walmart? Like, you might well get Target that foot traffic and shit. Go and do the damn thing. I'm just saying if that's what y'all gonna do. I don't advise it. I say stay at home. Don't go stealing out them folks though, cause your ass going to jail. But here, let's listen to it.
People, my people, I wish we stopped crying about this motherfucking EBT card. At the end of the day, they trying to see is we gonna stick together. And we are gonna stick together. Fucking November 3rd at 6:30, we're going to Walmart. We're going to fucking Walmart. And at 7:30, we're gonna walk out of Walmart with our fucking buggies. Okay? The thing is, they can catch everybody. You feel me? All you gotta do is run, Forrest, run.
Man, I don't think she understand, bro. I don't think she understand how this shit work. Cause once they get your face like this on their camera pushing that buggy up out of there, they're gonna run that through facial recognition and they gonna have a warrant out for your ass for everything you put in that cart. Y'all don't know that when you out doing like Walmart, like delivery or something, they know when you put an item in your buggy. It's not when you get there scanning, nigga. They know when you put that bitch in your buggy. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? So then you walking all through the store All they're gonna do is run that bitch through the AI and they're gonna backtrack. You think thousands of people finna run off at Walmart in 2025 and just do a concerted stealing and motherfuckers ain't finna get they warrants put out for them? You crazy, man. Now if y'all go in there mask up, that's a different story. They might have the police over there for that though. They might not let y'all come in there mask up, you know what I'm saying? But your ass going to jail, you go over there playing with Walmart. Your ass going to jail, you go over there playing with Walmart.
Okay. We have to stick to fucking together. It don't even matter. As long as we gonna have everything we need for Thanksgiving, that's all that fucking matters, bitch. Run, Forrest, run. Remember, put it in your calendar. November 3rd, 6:30 to 7:30. You better be running up that motherfucking people, my people.
She laughing and shit, but people taking this serious. There's a lot of people saying they finna go steal, and I will not be with them. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. I will not be participating. I'm gonna sit this one out, Chad. I'm gonna sit this one out. Y'all got it. Listen, I just got off papers, man. Y'all got it, bro. Y'all got it, bro. Y'all got it. Me back in jail stealing? Oh, nah. Walmart? Nah. That ain't even my MO, Chad. I'ma keep it real with you. That ain't even my MO, Chad. Stealing out the store and shit. I got caught stealing out Walmart when I was like a early teen, man. I ain't do this shit no more.
Tell this roller coaster story of the 107 days of your campaign. And
alright, this what Kamala finna say she running again.
No kidding. Yeah, because it's almost like a thriller. But it's clear you don't think losing the election was all your fault. So, Madam Vice President, you say you'd underestimated the public's dislike of a frail 81-year-old running again. Do you feel that President Biden and his team torpedoed your chances of a fair chance at winning the election?
Well, as I've written, the buck stops with me in terms of my campaign. It always did, and I take full responsibility for what I...
Nah, they didn't hit me with shoplifting. Like, they stopped me at the door. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Alright, you know how you finna walk out? Listen, chat. Y'all want to know what I ain't gonna tell y'all what I was stealing. That shit crazy. But they pulled me into the... I need to do a story time video on this. They pulled me into the... I'll tell y'all what I was stealing in the story time. But they pulled me into that little room. Boom. Pulled me and my partner in there. Like, damn. I got caught stealing. So I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough for them to charge me with shoplifting or nothing. But they had that. They made an adult come pick me up. And so I had to call my mama and tell her I got caught stealing out of Walmart, bro. She was so mad, bro. My mama was so mad, bro, and disappointed, bro. Like, I was grounded for a long time for that. I had football camp the next day, so I got to go to football camp, but I was grounded immediately after football camp.
Did and that's part of why I wrote the book, is to talk about the reflections that I've had on those 107 days, what I thought.
Nah, they didn't ban me. They didn't ban me or hit me with no criminal nothing. They just had my OG come pick me up. And my mama was so mad, bro. She was so mad, bro. Golly, she was mad. I remember that day like it was yesterday.
Were strengths, but what I also thought could have been better. And, I wrote the book for many reasons, and primarily, this election in the U.S. was unprecedented. We had a President of the United States running for re-election and decides not to run 3.5 months before the election. The sitting Vice President then takes up the mantle, running against a former President of the United States who had been running for 10 years, with 107 days to go. On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the...
Now, at that time, I didn't have a pocket full of money. I ain't have a pocket full of money. What position I play in football? Mustang Mike, I play quarterback and safety. I play QB and safety. But Yeah, I didn't have a pocket full of money. I was like 14. I was like 14, 15 then. Like, no, I wasn't 15. I was probably like 14 then. And yeah, I got caught stealing hell. I ain't had no damn money like that.
Greatest nation on earth. I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America. It's important to also note that it
Chill out, OG. Chill out, OG. Chill out.
presidential election in the 21st century in the United States, and it was important to me to write this book because it is a part of American history. And I was absolutely intent on making sure my voice would be present when history reflects those 107 days.
The reason that you ended up in that situation, and you say very clearly in the book, essentially you didn't have time. You didn't have time to make the campaign your own. You didn't have time to show the public what you could believe you could really do. And you also say President Biden pulling out should not have been a choice for an individual ego or an individual's ambition. Do you feel that you were deliberately kept in the dark about what was going on and how much he was struggling behind the scenes?
What I have written is what I believe, which is, one, we needed more time. There's no question about that. Two, there were many factors that contributed to the outcome of that election.
Yeah, Trump can't be VP next term. Trump could be governor. Trump could be, they're saying that he could be Speaker of the House. That's what they're trying to say. They're saying if he's Speaker of the House and the President and the Vice President steps down, that could potentially be something. But they'll have to go to the Supreme Court with that for sure. But yeah, he wouldn't be able to be Vice President, but he could potentially be Speaker. And then the President and Vice President both step down.
Election. But being mindful of the fact that there were extraordinary people who were involved in those 107 days in building up an inordinate amount for the time that we had, enthusiasm and, dare I say, joy around the possibility for our country.
And that comes across, but the context here, I think, at this
what it do, Drew?
moment you talk about is so important because there had been months of speculation around the world, here in the UK too, even in April, long before President Biden pulled out. We asked Nancy Pelosi what was going wrong. This was a huge subject of discussion. And you write that President Biden didn't raise his frailty with you, and you write that you didn't really raise it with him. That's extraordinary to read in your account.
Well, let's be more precise. There is a very serious difference between capacity to be President of the United States and the capacity to run for President of the United States. And so it is on that latter piece that I talk about in the book, about my concern, about his ability with the level of endurance, energy that it requires, especially running against now the current president.
I don't feel bad, Drew. Arkansas took a shit today too.
Total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
So that is what I speak of in the book, and you rightly point out that I, in reflection, realize that, and I ask, was it on my behalf grace or recklessness to not raise the point with him about whether it was right for him to run? But let's be clear, my question was never about his capacity to be president.
But isn't it a strange message to the public to say, you know what, you need to be tougher and more able to run a political campaign than actually to be the person behind the desk in the Oval Office, to be the person making decisions in the Situation Room? So did you just not think it was that bad, or did you feel you just couldn't raise it?
I was concerned about his ability to...
This woman says she read Kamala book 3 times. I think she lying.
...run for re-election, given what the campaign would require. And requires
it ain't even out that long.
Regardless of their age. And to run while being the sitting president of the United States with all of the responsibilities that requires.
There's a lot of very well-respected reporting now in the United States that uses phrases like cover-up, that talks about widespread concerns, and you yourself say in the book, it shouldn't have been a choice for an individual's ego?
I do reflect on whether I should have had a conversation with him, urging him not to run for re-election because of what that would require, and given the stakes, most importantly. Because, as you know, I predicted just about everything that has now happened since the election.
And we'll come to that.
And so my concern, and especially on reflection, is should I have actually raised it? But as I've also written, part of the issue there was that would it have actually been an effective and productive conversation, given what would otherwise appear to be my self-interest?
You say you've reflected on whether you wish you'd had that conversation with President Biden, urging him to pull out. In the end, it took other people's voices, and even George Clooney writing an article in the newspaper saying it was time to pull the plug. Is it your belief that you would now be president if Joe Biden had pulled out earlier?
I can't speculate about that. I do know we needed more time, that I'm sure of.
But if you needed more time, you might have won, and you might therefore be president right now if he had pulled out earlier.
That's speculation.
Well, that's the logic of what you're saying. You're saying if you'd had more time, you might have won.
I can't predict what the outcome would have been, but I am certain we needed more time, 107 days, to run for President of the United States against a former President of the United States in this political environment, with, as I also have written, the vast amount of mis and disinformation, the need to actually speak with a nation of 330 million people about not only who I am, but what I stood for in terms of the policies that I do believe actually are very salient and address the highest priorities of the American people. 107 days was clearly not enough time to do all of that.
And what leaps off every page is you threw yourself into those 107 days.
Indeed I did. And my team did too. I have an extraordinary team. In fact, I've dedicated my book to my team. From the first day I got the call from President Biden on a Sunday afternoon while I was in my sweats with a ponytail, having made pancakes and bacon and sausages for my baby nieces. From that day and that afternoon when they all showed up, half of us had been working out and not had even a shower. And for those 107 days, they worked around the clock and left everything on the table, everything on the field.
And when it comes to your campaign, you've already said the buck stops with you.
Indeed.
You had massively successful rallies, you had a crazy number of celebrity endorsements, you had Oprah Winfrey turning out for you, you had Taylor Swift backing you. But there's little in the book about why you feel you didn't connect with ordinary voters, those people in the middle who could have gone either way. And indeed, during the campaign, Gen Z and Latinos in some numbers moved across to Trump. You stayed in your comfort zone, didn't you? That was the Democrats' problem.
I received 75 million votes from a variety of people.
But in the Electoral College, you were far outdone.
I'm not finished. I received 75 million votes from people around the nation of every stripe, whether it be geographic location, race, gender, and age. And it is true, however, and I also reflect and write on that for probably a decade, Democrats have been losing certain sectors of society, and there's work that we need to get done. One of the reasons that I ran on the issue of child care, of Medicare, basically a health coverage for home health care for people, for example, who are raising young children and taking care of their parents. One of the reasons I ran on a perspective that we need to make housing more affordable. So I was offering a $25,000 down credit for first-time home buyers. I ran on an agenda that was about going after price gouging, corporations taking advantage of working people.
But why didn't it connect with working people?
Well, it did connect with working people, but clearly there was more work to be done.
But why?
Because we needed more time to talk with more people, and we have to understand the context, which is that if you look at the trends that had been in play probably at least since, if not before, 2016, you were seeing for the Democratic Party that there was a shift taking place among the demographics you have mentioned. And that's work that needs to be done, and that's work that I and others are working on to remind people that it has always been the Democratic Party that has stood for working people. And the work we need to do going forward is also, frankly, to provide the contrast. Because right now we have a president in the Oval Office who is building a ballroom for his rich friends while he is depriving working people of health care during this government shutdown period.
Let's talk then about that. There's an evocative moment in the book where you realize you've lost and you say, my God, what will happen to our country?
Yeah.
And as you've mentioned, the Trump administration is pulling down the east wing of the White House, they're turning many conventions on their head. There's a shutdown in the federal government. In the campaign, you said Donald Trump was a fascist. Do you think he's running a fascist authoritarian government?
I was asked if he was a fascist, and I said yes. And the reason is that I look at what is happening right now. And again, it is what I predicted. He said he would weaponize the Department of Justice. He has done exactly that. He has used the United States Department of Justice, which should be an independent agency that makes decisions based on fact and law and not personal vengeance of the President of the United States. But this is how he has conducted himself, so much so that recently he has dared to suggest that the United States Department of Justice, which is an agency of the people of America, funded by their tax dollars, should give him 200 and X number of $million because of a prosecution and an investigation that he rightly deserved. You look at what has happened in terms of how he has weaponized, for example, the federal agencies around going after political satirists. His skin is so thin, he couldn't endure criticism from a joke and attempted to shut down an entire media organization in the process.
And you are critical of billionaires and other institutions.
Trump did just sue the DOJ for $230 million too. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We are 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We go live every single day over talking current events, politics, and entertainment. Please subscribe to the channel.
Bowing down, capitulation.
There are not all, but there are many that have capitulated since day one, who are bending the knee at the foot of a tyrant, I believe, for many reasons, including they want to be next to power, because they want to perhaps have a merger approved or avoid an investigation. And it is a crying shame that when push comes to shove, we can't count on the titans of industry to at least posture in a way that is about maintaining the guardrails around a democracy and democratic systems.
What then of foreign leaders? I just wonder, what did you feel when you heard that Keir Starmer had presented an invitation from the King to Donald Trump in the view of the world's media, in the guilt of the Oval Office? Did you think that was cheesy, or did it make you feel queasy, or was it obsequious? You know, is there a risk that foreign leaders are being played by Donald Trump because they have to show they're close to power?
I do believe that Donald Trump, as I said on the debate stage before the election, and I maintain it to be true, has shown his very nature. In the foreign stage, he has proven over a long period of time that he invites favor and flattery. And what I said on the debate stage, like everything else I said and predicted, continues to be true.
So you would make that warning to foreign leaders to be careful what they wish for by getting too close, perhaps?
Foreign leaders will do as they think is right for their country.
And yet, Donald Trump has made progress of a sorts in the Middle East that President Biden and you, I know you worked hard on this, failed to make. Do you praise the achievements he's made in terms of seeming to move the Gaza-Israel conflict towards resolution?
Listen, I think that, first of all, I'm very, very happy that we now have a situation where the hostages are out. There's still more work to be done. I think credit should be given where credit is due, whether it be Egypt, Qatar, or this administration and this president. There is good work that happened, but there's a whole lot more to do. And as you can see, when we're talking about, in particular, one, the fragility of the ceasefire, two, equally important, and something I've been working on since October 8th, what is the plan for the day after, which includes the security, the governance, and the rebuilding of Gaza.
Let's talk then about what's next for you and also what's changed in your life since then. Donald Trump stripped you of your Secret Service protection at a time when there had been attempts on his life. Of course, there have been other political killings in the US, most notably recently the killing of Charlie Kirk. Has Donald Trump's decision put you in danger?
I feel safe.
Why do you think he did it?
You'd have to ask him.
Oh, you must have thought about it.
You have to ask him. I don't pretend to know why people do what they do on a daily basis.
In terms then of what is next for you, you write very powerfully about the differences that many women have made to your life, whether that was your meeting with Angela Merkel or the experience of growing up with your extraordinary mother or the stories of your baby nieces, Amara and Leela. When are they going to see a woman in charge in the White House?
In their lifetime, for sure.
Could it be you?
Possibly.
Have you made a decision yet?
No, I have not.
What about running again as someone else's vice president, or maybe being part of another ticket? If Gavin Newsom, your fellow Californian, said, hey, come and be my Secretary of State, would you consider that?
Right now I'm focused on my book tour. And I'm glad to know that you read it 3 times.
I did. I read it 3 times because it's a great read.
Thank you.
But you say in your book, I'm not done.
That is correct. I am not done. I have lived my entire career a life of service. And it's in my bones. And there are many ways to serve. I've not decided yet what I will do in the future beyond what I'm doing right now, which is meeting with many people. Obviously, right now I'm in the UK, but otherwise I've been spending a lot of time in our country. Most recently, I was spending an incredible amount of time in the South. I was in Georgia, North Carolina, and Alabama, and talking with people and mostly listening, and I'm enjoying doing that. I think that people want to be heard right now, and one of the reasons that I decided not to run for governor of California, I want to listen to people without it being transactional, without asking people for their vote, but listening to them. I think the American people have a lot to say right now.
But you've been very clear that it's a possibility you might run again to become president. And in my experience interviewing politicians, when someone says, I'm not done, it means they are thinking seriously about running. But when you look at the bookies' odds, they put you as an outsider, even behind Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, is that underestimating you?
I think there are all kinds of polls that will tell you a variety of things. I've never listened to polls. If I listened to polls, I would have not run for my first office or my second office, and I certainly wouldn't be sitting here in this interview.
So your message to supporters at the end of the book was, we fought, if you fight, you win. You fought and you lost, but next time...
No, my message is, as you would have read in the last few chapters, was yes, I do believe that when you fight, you win, but sometimes the fight takes a while. That was my message.
While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
Let's close with a couple of fun things, if I can squeeze them
Sure.
in. Because one of the things that also comes across in the book is part of maybe the showbiz side of campaigning. You obviously enjoy it, and meeting musicians and creative people and coming across...
And people who, you might... I think the challenge is you recognize the famous names, so you're speaking of them. But there were millions of people that you wouldn't recognize their name, who I met with, who gave me an incredible amount of joy, and really continue to give me a sense of confidence in who the American people are, and their optimism, and their fight, and their endurance, and their love of country.
Is Kamala still brat?
I think we're going to have to ask that beautiful artist who said it over a year ago.
Maybe we'll ask Charlie XCX.
Yes.
What do you miss most about being vice president?
I worked with wonderful people, and that was great. The work that I do because I want to solve problems, and there was good work to be had.
And what do you miss the least?
I don't know. These are high-class problems to talk about things like that,
Madam Vice President, thank you so much for giving us your time today.
I'm glad to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
So they mentioned once or twice.
We finna get into this Piers Morgan. He was debating, I believe he was debating like 1v4 on this episode. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We are 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We go live every single day over here talking politics, current events, and entertainment. Please subscribe to the channel. This is kind of crazy though, chat. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of crazy hearing Kamala say that. Do y'all think she has a shot? Do you think she'll win a primary, chat? Y'all let me know in the comments.
Well, as I may have mentioned once or twice, woke is dead. I've written a whole new book. So I've invited some of the finest woke warriors in the world to tell me why I'm wrong.
You are sat there in this entire book moaning about how straight men are being bullied and marginalised by left-wing idiots like me, and actually that makes you incredibly woke.
You just cherry pick whatever you don't like. So when you don't like something and it hurts you, then that's when you go against council culture, Piers.
You are woke, Piers.
You are like totally woke.
The idea that vegans eat avocados every day is semi-insipid.
Do y'all think Piers Morgan is woke? Yes or no in the chat. Do y'all think Piers Morgan is woke?
To celebrate that all of the parasitic ideas that constitute wokeism are now eviscerated.
This is more an aspiration.
What's up, Purple Rain? Thank you, Purple Rain.
You gonna promote this book over on Fox and Friends when you booty clap them cheeks?
Which I will be, by the way, in about a week.
I see you're still acting stupid, Piers.
So what is your point?
If we're going by woke is dead, you might learn something.
I think we should get a free copy considering.
I think we should too. See, I'm a big fan of both of y'all, by the way.
I'm a big fan of you.
I love you.
Love
All right, can we stop this annoying
you.
Take up space, baby girl.
Come on, baby.
Well, as I may have mentioned once or twice, woke is dead. I've written a whole new book about how and why it's nearly dead. Not quite. It still pops up every now and again. But what's changed is the way that we all respond to wokeism. Now, the tolerance of it, of these newfound fascists, has been put firmly back in its box. Just about every news program in the country has asked me to talk about it, but here at Uncensored, we prefer to debate the news rather than just talk about it. So in the spirit of fairness, balance, and a robust exchange of views, I've invited some of the finest woke warriors in the world and the Uncensored universe to return and tell me why I'm wrong. Each of my woke witnesses will be presented with a claim from my book tailored to their unique, specialised subject. I'm joined in the studio by James Barr, comedian and Uncensored woke correspondent, Bonnie Greer, the playwright and liberal commentator, and more to come. So the first topic we're going to discuss is pride. And
what's up,
my
Leo?
guest, James Barr, is the specialised expert in this area, or thinks he is. Here's a clip of James in action talking about this.
Why are you so triggered?
Hey, chat, too, if y'all are in the Arkansas area, especially the northwest Arkansas area or northeast, the Fort Smith area, check out my community tab post, man. It's a seafood spot, man. Y'all want to go get it, man. The menu look crazy. Y'all know I'm allergic to seafood, but if I could, I would. I'm going to go over there and get some of them boudin balls or whatever, man. Give me a special little plate put together, man. But y'all check out my community tab post, man. Go show some a local business some love if you are in the Arkansas area, specifically the Fort Smith area, man. Look at my community tab wall.
By a flag. It's a rainbow flag. You mentioned Regent Street.
I'm not triggered by a rainbow flag. I'm triggered by the fact that everywhere I go for a calendar month, everything has to be a rainbow flag.
Well, I'm triggered that everywhere I go for the entire year, everything has to be straight. Why is straight
Where's
everywhere?
my straight flag?
Why am I constantly getting straight?
Where is my straight flag?
Why are straight people holding hands in the street?
When have you ever seen a straight flag?
Why has Mickey Mouse got a
Tell me
girlfriend?
one straight flag hanging right now anywhere in the world.
Why are straight people
Where
pushing
is the straight flag?
identity
Where's the
onto
straight
me?
flag?
Everywhere.
Where's my straight flag? Still haven't got my straight flag.
Well, you are a straight flag.
don't even get a straight day, let alone a month.
You are a straight flag, Piers.
I want to read you a quote from my book, James. The holy month of pride is the dizzying peak of hypocritical corporate virtue signaling. I will go along with this, but only when I get a straight flag and a straight month. So this is all about equality. Until then, I don't need a rainbow on my breakfast cereal, sandwich, or chocolate bar to prove that I don't care what you get up to in your spare time. It turns out many gay people agree with me.
Oh, many gay people agree with me. All the gay people I know agree with me, so I'm right.
Not all.
Bullshit, Piers.
Not all. Most
Bullshit.
gay people I know think that the Pride Month thing's got out of hand.
Also, can I just say, that is not queerness, that is capitalism that you have a problem with. That's not Pride Month, that's capitalism.
Why do you get a month?
Why do you get a whole year?
Why do you want a month?
Why do you get
I don't get a whole year.
Next you'll be turning around and saying, why is there not a White History Month?
I don't get a whole year.
There is every single day of
I don't
every
agree
year.
with Black History Month either.
Every single day of every year is for straight white people. So it's okay every now and again to
But
just
why?
raise
You live in
awareness
those months too.
I do live in those months and they're exhausting.
What's the difference between your Pride Month and the rest of the year?
Pride Month is a celebration and raising awareness of queer people existing. But
I know you exist.
And can I just say as
I
well,
certainly
I
don't
do
celebrate
think
your
this
existence.
book is ridiculous. Woke is dead is such a ridiculous title.
Why?
Thank you, Purple.
Of all the people in the world, the most woke person is literally you. You are
Why?
sat there in this entire book moaning about how straight men are being bullied and marginalised by left-wing idiots like me, and actually that makes you incredibly woke. That makes you the most woke person because you cannot stand. You cannot stand that straight men are being victimised. So you're standing up for straight people, which is great. So well done on being woke.
As I will say to Bonnie a little later when we get to her issue, actually by the original definition of woke, which originated in African American music in America.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You said when the woke become a black thing, Carlos. Pierce was finna say it. I was like, damn, I thought woke started with police brutality, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know, man. I just thought it. Appreciate that, OG. Appreciate your continued support, OG. You know I got you.
In the 60s, it meant raising awareness of social and racial injustice. By that criteria, I will happily say I am woke.
It goes further than that.
But that is not how it transformed in the last decade. It became an insidious form of fascism, where anyone who deviated from the woke worldview, whether it was things like trans athletes in women's sport, it was an outrageous attack on women's rights. If you raised a concern about it, boom, you got cancelled, you got shamed, you got vilified. I didn't see you standing up on behalf of women for their rights when that was all going down.
What are you talking about? I stand up for women's rights all the time.
So is it wrong that trans athletes compete in women's sport?
I think that all sports should be gender neutral, Piers, because I think
Gender neutral?
I think that people of different
Have you ever watched the Olympics?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
This man said, I think all sports should be gender neutral. Crazy work. It won't be a woman to win another award in a lot of shit. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to say women can't compete in everything, but it's going to be a lot of shit a woman will never win another award in.
Do you ever watch the times that men record
I think it should be
in running
divided
and
by body type and strength, to be honest.
And you'd have men against
I think
women.
that would be a lot safer.
Men would compete with women.
Because there are women who are stronger built than other women.
come off
and there are
it,
men
James.
who are stronger
This
built
is the
than other men. No, your problem is that you are literally just victimizing anyone with a different opinion to yourself.
No, mate, you
are so wrong, Piers.
No, you want a gender neutral Olympics in that moment. The audience at home can see you're a complete lunatic.
I'm not a lunatic.
Of course you are.
I'm not.
Of course
There
you
is
are.
nothing wrong with what...
There's a reason we
I want
separate the
safety.
sexes in the Olympics.
You know I
no
want
women
safety.
would win a medal again.
I want safety for women, girls.
No, you don't.
I do. Yes, I do.
You want women getting in the boxing ring in the Olympics with a man.
Insane.
You just said it.
There are literally hardly any trans people in the world. This is such
So in the
bullshit.
gender neutral Olympics, in the boxing event, you'd have women and men.
I would, if you're worried about people's safety,
Would you have them fighting?
If you're worried about people's safety, then you should look at people's strength and body mass and put those people against each other. That's what you should do.
You would put a woman with the right body mass in the boxing ring.
Listen, I don't think it's a woman that's 140 right now that Javante Davis wouldn't crack they damn rib. I don't think it's a woman on earth right now that's 140, 135 that Javante Davis might not dislocate their jaw. I don't think it's on. I'm just being real, Chad. I'm just gonna say it, man.
You're changing what
Against
I'm saying.
a man.
You're changing.
Didn't you
what
just
I'm
say
saying.
that?
No, I said people with the same and similar body types and strength ability should go
If
against.
you look at a woman, if she looks roughly the same size as the bloke,
obviously
it
not.
doesn't mean
Look
they're
at
right.
them.
This is
I'm
completely
this is-
insane.
no, it
This
might
is my point.
It might sound
You
insane,
people are
but it actually
insane.
makes complete
This is
sense.
why I've written the book.
Yeah,
It is insanity.
It's not insanity.
It is.
It's not. It's fairness. The whole
It's
point.
not fair, that's the whole point.
The whole point of woke is to make everyone equal. Which
Bonnie, even you, Bonnie, surely can see this is insane.
Here's, I've actually boxed a man, as small as I am.
Could you do it
he
right
was
now?
No, he's bigger than me. See, that's my point. The weight, he and I had the same weight, so we went into the ring together. He beat me, but we did it. We boxed again.
Yeah, but you're talking about sports. You're talking about professional. We're talking about world-class athletes right here. Okay. You got it.
We saw actually at the last Olympics, Imam Khalif, an Algerian boxer who was banned from the World Championships for having tested positive for male chromosomes, getting in the ring, winning the gold in the weight class that Imam Khalif was in. And we saw an Italian female boxer quit after 40 seconds because, quote, "I've never been hit that hard in my life. I feared for my life." Right? This is wrong. It is dangerous. It's not a question, James, with all due respect.
Now, Clarissa Shields or Wilson shit, she won 74. You better have it on your mind you come out there with Clarissa Shields, but that's like Clarissa Shields fighting Bud. You know what I'm saying? Like if Bud didn't cut weight, that's like Clarissa Shields fighting Bud if he didn't cut weight. That's crazy work, bro.
Right. I've done a lot of research into this. It is not a question of just having a similar body shape. Men have stronger muscle mass, stronger lung capacity. Every metric of physiology with men is superior purely on the physiology. That's why we separate the sexes.
But Piers, your issue, you call something wrong. It's not wrong. It's something we need to explore and to learn more about. Hang on.
Well, you're wrong. Ironically, you're wrong.
No. It's not wrong. Killing people is wrong. But these two people need a chance. We need to learn more about the human body. And we can. I don't want to see a woman beaten by somebody bigger than her. Of course I don't. But we have an opportunity to learn more about the human body, more physiology. And let me say something.
Man, they want to take this shit back to T-ball. Man, y'all remember how T-ball, everybody just played together? They trying to take everything back to T-ball. Man, hell no.
I got into the ring with a little guy. You know, This was a little man. And he beat me because he was better than me.
Because he's a man.
He was better than me.
Good night, OG. We'll see you on the next one.
Listen, I'm afraid sometimes in life, some things are right, some things are wrong.
No, that's not true. This is not it.
Allowing biological men into women's sport is wrong.
This is not.
There's no ambiguity about it.
When you use the word to me, and we may be doing it differently, we're talking about a moral universe. I disagree with that.
Not a moral
universe. No. You said
we're not. No. Sorry. Sorry. You're wrong again.
No. I'm not wrong.
We're talking about a factual reality.
No. I'm talking about when you say the word to me. About whether it's true neutrally. When you say the word to me, that's where I take it, and I'm saying you're wrong.
What's up, Cash?
It's morally wrong.
Of course you're not. But
if you, I'm saying it's actually scientifically, biologically wrong and unfair and unequal. It's the same as allowing doping.
But wrong means that something is morally in some universe wrong.
No.
Hang on. No, you're disagreeing.
Well, actually, it's morally wrong too.
Well, I disagree.
But it's also
physically. It's not. I disagree with the moral part.
Why would you want? Why would you, as a strong? I've known you a long time.
I've known you a long time.
I have a lot of time for you.
I have a lot of time for you.
A lot of what you say, but we agree about a number of things too. And I respect you. I do. But the idea that you think it's right that women's sports should be destroyed.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, it's either right or wrong.
You've leaped into a huge platform.
It's either right or wrong.
What I'm saying is, in each instance, Piers, let's judge it. Let's see what it is. Let's leave it open for that. You might be right at the end of the day.
No, I am
but
right.
You're so frustrating.
I'm not.
You're so annoying. Also, we were talking about pride, and you immediately.
I agree. Let's come back to pride.
You immediately segued
into
an enormous debate.
Here's my thing about pride. I was having this conversation with a gay broadcaster today about how dramatically things have changed. In 1966, when England won the World Cup, it was illegal to be gay in this country. It was a crime, right? We have moved a long way from then. 30 years ago, in my village when I grew up, you would hear a lot of homophobic stuff in the pubs and racist stuff, if I'm honest. It was very normal, right, in the villages up and down the country that people were homophobic and racist. It was ignorance in the kind of purest sense of that, of no exposure to people who were openly gay, very few black people in villages in southern England, for example. And it was a kind of
I can kind of tell Pierce didn't grow up around no black people, but y'all want to know what's crazy? Like, I've met people and they told me, like, I'm the first black person they seen, like not met. I'm the first black person they have seen in person. Like, I've been to some towns, chat, and it's like they hadn't seen black people before. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up, nobody black ever came through there. You know what I'm saying? Shit crazy. Then, I went with my partner one time. And yeah, they had never seen black people. I was pumping gas, and that's when I knew I was in a sundown town. That's when I knew I was somewhere I really didn't need to be. Like, just the way they looked at me, it was like they had never seen black people.
Kind of ignorance based on just never experiencing anything different to their straight white lives. Today's show is sponsored by OneSkin, which can help all of us look even younger. OneSkin is redefining skincare with cult favorites like OS1 Body, Face, and Eye.
Yeah, while Pierce get his ad off, y'all be sure to check out my community tab wall, man. If you are in the Arkansas area, man, check out my community tab wall, man. Get you some good seafood over there, man. Stickos.
We have moved on so much, James.
Your previous argument proves that we actually haven't, because you're removing empathy from the trans debate.
No. Here again, let me just be crystal clear for the 1,000th time, probably with you alone, I've said this.
The finger's out.
I have never had a problem with people identifying as trans. If they believe they're trapped in the wrong body, they want to identify as a woman, no problem. My only problem comes when they want to erode women's rights in pursuing their own rights. I want trans people to have the same rights to fairness, safety, and equality as me, you, and
How
you.
does the erosion happen? You said when they erode.
Yes.
When does the erosion happen? Can I have an example?
Literally just told
you.
you.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't. You made a statement, but you didn't give me an example. Let me say something else. I lived in the village in Greenwich Village in the 80s.
Yeah.
Most of my friends died. Yeah. Most of my friends died from AIDS. I still haven't got over that, okay? They were people, some of them peers couldn't go home to their parents.
I agree.
Because their parents didn't know they were out.
I know.
Some of them did go home, and they couldn't die with the people they had spent 10 and 20 years of their life because their parents wouldn't allow it.
But Bonnie.
Hang on.
Hey, Buster, I'm going to keep it real. You over there talking about stepping in that ring with Big Niche. You better have it together, man. You better have your shit together. Big Niche fuck around and knock your ass out, H-Buster.
Pride is about is making foregrounding those people's worldview in peace. I don't agree with people taking over other people's lives. I don't agree with people stopping you from what you feel. But I do adamantly support gay rights, because there was a time when people died because they were gay.
Despite his fury all the time, I've always supported gay rights.
Are you saying we should just stop Pride now because it's done?
Yeah,
That's your argument.
It's just annoying.
Do you think we should just? Would you rather just cancel Pride altogether?
Like butterflies.
Why should gay people get a whole month?
Why not?
Are you saying?
They didn't have any?
If you want equality, that's not equal.
Piers, you just answered your own question.
I don't get a day.
Piers,
I don't get an hour.
Piers, you just answered your own question.
I've become a marginalised person.
Piers, no, you're not. No, you're not.
You're a walking straight pride.
You're a wonderful straight white man.
Yeah.
Listen, and I'm married to one, and I'm telling you something. He goes into the door first when we have to go somewhere, because I know how it works.
Who?
Okay. My husband goes in first. You know my husband. Okay, so what I'm saying to you is you live in a universe, and because you don't know any other universe, you live in this universe where you're highly privileged. You're highly privileged.
I've lived in London since I was 19.
Okay.
London is one of the most multicultural, tolerant places on earth.
Piers, you and I don't know if you still live there. But you and I used to live in Notting Hill. Now, I'll give you £100.
I've never lived in Notting Hill.
Okay, but
£100.
But we know them.
See, I be having to forget that they're from across the pond. Because when I heard her say, I give you £100, and then, you know what I'm saying, I had to realize what she was talking about.
Area. To this day, I'll put £100 on the table. If you and I walk up to a restaurant, certain restaurants, guess who doesn't get checked?
Yeah, she put £100 on that table. They ass both going to jail.
Let's go to Brixton and try it and see what happens there.
It'll happen there too.
Really?
It'll happen there too. Yeah, Brixton's changed. Haven't you been there?
I don't for a moment mitigate that actually if you're black, you probably still get that kind of experience from time to time, and it's awful. I hate it. I hate racism.
I know you do.
Similarly, I hate homophobia. Judging people on their sexuality, I despise it. Honestly, I do.
Yeah, and gay people don't.
I don't think you would say in any of our interactions privately you would ever get a sense I'm remotely homophobic.
Of course you're not homophobic.
No, of course you're not.
It's really not. It's not about that. The same way
not.
with the trans issue with sport and stuff, I'm not transphobic. What I'm trying to do is get a level, fair,
But
free,
you can't,
and equal playing
Piers,
field.
you cannot, because your intelligence is too complex, okay? You can't do it. Now, if you
Actually,
put,
the issue of transport is not complicated. It's
Pardon me?
Can I just say something, Piers? If you hate Pride so much, that's maybe
I
our
don't
fault.
hate- I
Maybe
don't-
we needed to invite you.
Yeah,
Do you
come
just feel
on.
left out?
Come
Do you
on.
want to come
I
to
just
Pride?
don't want to have.
Do you want to come to
I
Pride
don't
with
want to
me?
have a month of you ramming it down
Why
my
didn't
throat.
I
For
will
want of a better
always?
phrase.
You
No,
would
I'm
love
always
Pride.
ready
You would
to
love
ram
it.
it down your.
I don't want to have a month of you ramming it down my throat, and then he looks at the camera and chuckles like, nah, Pierce, no. No, sir, I cannot let you slide with that one, my boy. Glizzy Gang, Pierce, what's going on with you, man?
You would love it. You
I
would love
think
it.
you and I should go to Pride in London
And I'll
next
go
year.
with you.
I'll hold
You
your
I
hand.
think it would be very
love it.
popular
You
at
can
Pride.
feel included.
Although
It'd
gay
be
men
very
never
popular.
hit on me. Never happened.
It'll happen
hit on
at
you all the
Pride.
time.
It'll
Honestly,
happen at your
I've
Pride.
never had
It'll
a gay
happen
man
at Pride.
come on to me
And
in
you'll-
my
it'll
adult
happen-
life. It's
it'll
quite
happen at
amazing.
Pride. It'll happen
I
at
don't know
Pride.
what it is. I must radiate
And it'll happen at Pride.
such amazing straight
you-
testosterone.
do you
think you have a bit of- do you have a bit of
I'm not
gay
saying
in
I
you?
want them to.
Do you want a bit of gay
I'm
in
just
you?
saying I've never had a gay man
We'll
come on
take
to
you where it'll happen.
Huh?
We'll take you where it'll
Yeah,
happen.
Piers, I'm going to make that happen.
You'll
for you.
love it.
All right, we're going to move on to the second topic. You guys stay, everyone can join in.
All right.
This is Ernest Owens, author of The Case for Cancel Culture, which in itself is one of the most ludicrous book titles
It's
ever
a
written.
beautiful
You
book.
think woke is dead is bad, mate? Try The Case for Cancel Culture.
Lovely
so
title.
let's have a look at Ernest's greatest hits. Ernest, why was somebody so traumatized by Kevin Spacey send him naked pictures of himself?
I think the larger point for me in all of this is that Kevin Spacey appears to have a bunch of skeletons in his closet, and I feel like the more he talks, the more I learn, and the more I learn more about him, the more I dislike him, and the more I don't want to buy a movie ticket to ever see him again.
You were so censorious about Kevin Spacey, who has fought two cases, one in a criminal court, one in a civil court. He won both. He's not convicted of any crimes, and yet many people like you believe he should be cancelled because you don't like the perception he has skeletons in his cupboard. Now, I mean, do you have a completely squeaky clean background, Ernest? If we would apply the Ernest Kevin Spacey logic to you, would you be appearing here on my show, or would you have to cancel?
Hey, chat, we need like 15 more likes to get to 100 likes, man. Double tap the screen, man. We need everybody to double tap the screen right quick. That's how you get the live out, man. We are also 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We do need 25 subscribers, man. We go live every single day over here talking politics, current events, and entertainment. Please subscribe to the channel.
Yourself.
So for starters, I just want to say that I am not saying that Kevin Spacey should be canceled forever. If you actually read my book, you know that I talk about how there's a process around accountability. He was dealt with the courts. He has, suffered, consequences for his actions, and that's really what it's about, is about accountability. So this idea of, defining things, you can misdefine woke the way you want to, which I disagree with how you're defining it in this book. But, if you want to talk about cancel culture, it is about accountability.
You haven't read my book. How do you
And
know?
that was what I was calling for with the Kevin Spacey.
Hang on, Ernest,
No, I'm talking about the way you just defined the show.
Ernest, you ever read my book? How do you know what's in it?
You just defined. I said the way you defined it. I didn't talk about the whole book.
I didn't define the book at all.
Like the way.
Here's what I'm going to say about cancel culture. Hang on, Ernest. Here's a passage from the book about cancel culture, your specialist subject. People were cancelled for the most pathetic reasons and the stampede of frenzied outrage. It was now impossible to be woke enough. I don't think anybody really wants to live in a society of curtain-twitching snitches and armchair detectives raking over problematic social media posts from a decade ago. I don't think anyone really enjoys walking on eggshells and waiting for a knock on the door from the fun police. We've been liberated from the tyranny of the always offended and given a fresh crack at a world without cancel culture. That's why it's so important that we don't replace it with something equally bitter, ideological, grievance-ridden and censorious. And there was a great example of this with the comedian Graham Linehan. Now, not everyone agrees with his views, but he decided he was going to make this whole issue of the trans activism an issue where he would defend women's rights. Maybe he went too far with some of his rhetoric, with some of his posts. Maybe his jokes weren't that funny. But the idea that for posts on X in April, 5 armed police arrested him at Heathrow Airport and dragged him through the criminal mincer until, thank God, common sense prevailed, and the police announced not only will they not be pursuing the case, but they were now no longer going to pursue at all any similar case like that, because they realise it's not their job to police free speech. If he's not inciting violence, and he clearly wasn't. They tried to make out that he was doing a crass joke, but he wasn't inciting violence against any individual. And I think that is where my concern about cancel culture is, that if you're inciting violence, fine, that's not covered by free speech. No one should defend it, right? But if you're just being unpleasant, offensive, maybe even a bit hateful, you may not like it, Ernest Owens, but I'm entitled to be all those things towards you, and you are to me. Uncensored is proudly sponsored by Cozy Earth, which, like me, delivers next level quality.
No one's disagreeing with that. I think what is important to note is that you're conflating several things. For starters, I think it's ironic that your book is called Woke is Dead and you're against cancel culture, because clearly you want to cancel wokeism, which is your right.
I told y'all we kicking it tonight. Yeah, I got the snacks, man. Lala got the plain Lays. I got some fudge peanut butter cookies. Y'all let me know what snack y'all got in the comments. What y'all bringing to the potluck, damn it.
Right, so you and I are on the same page, right? You clearly like cancel culture because your title is called Woke is Dead and you want to cancel wokeism.
Yeah, but I'm doing to wokeism what cancel culture protagonists like you should want me to do. I'm cancelling it.
Well, no, I want to cancel bigotry and hatred and racism and transphobia, and that's my opinion. Well, then I would argue that some of the behaviors of the comedian you spoke on, I don't think that the government should infringe upon his free speech rights, which is one thing, right? So I agree with you. I don't think law enforcement should have gotten involved. That was wrong, right? But again, I say the same thing about the FCC with Jimmy Kimmel, right? You're one of your guys, that you tend to be speaking.
I got you, Drip. Drip said all he got is a peppermint. Damn, Drip. You bite that motherfucker, it's gone. I got you, man.
Policy about the President of the United States. He wants to censor comedians who disagree with him politically. I think that is a right-wing version of wokeism. Wokeism is not just for progressives and leftists.
Let me surprise you. I don't disagree. I make the point in the book that you haven't read.
You're going to tell him, Pierce.
The woke right is showing tendencies which are exactly the things they criticise on the woke left.
And I said that in my book, The Case for Cancel Culture, Pierce. So if you read my book, you will know that I talk about when progressives cancel and when conservatives cancel.
I've been canceled.
It's all subjective. You just cherry pick whatever you don't like. So when you don't like something and it hurts you, then that's when you go against cancel culture, Pierce. But you're in favor of cancel culture. You are.
You are woke, Pierce.
You like it. You like it when it serves your benefit.
You are woke. Easy, tigers. Look at this. Look at the woke pack coming
You're more woke than any of us. And you're more woke than any of us. And not only that, the beautiful thing about it is that you got Donald Trump on speed dial. So you need to call him up and tell him just what you said.
Well, we're going to come to you and Donald Trump because you and I were on Question Time.
Some homemade bread. What kind of bread is this? Some French bread? Who made that bread?
The BBC's flagship political show, in which you continue to call him Hitler and a Nazi.
No, I ain't calling him a Nazi, I call him Hitler.
Yeah, well, Hitler was a Nazi.
I can explain.
You can explain why he's Hitler but not a Nazi?
Yes, I can.
I'd love to hear that explanation.
Okay, very happy.
That's one of the maddest things you've ever said.
Very happy to.
Was Hitler a Nazi?
Of course he was.
Then you just answered your own question.
But the opposite doesn't mean the same. That doesn't mean it's true. And just because one preposition is true doesn't mean the other one is true. And I can explain it.
All right, well, I'm going to come to you, Bonnie, because don't worry, we've got a lot to discuss with you.
Okay, good.
Ernest, finally on cancel culture. I do actually accept, for example, there's a good example of this in the UK at the moment. The president-elect of the Oxford Union Debating Society reacted to Charlie Kirk being murdered by posting on groups, LOL, laugh out loud, and then Charlie Kirk got shot, let's effing go, exclamation mark. In other words, he was celebrating the shooting. He says he didn't know he was actually dead, the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Now, what made this particularly awful was that he had debated Charlie Kirk in the Oxford Union only 4 months before. Now, here's my point about him. I don't think he should be arrested for what he said. I don't think he should have government interference in censoring him or anything like that. He's perfectly entitled to what he said. But to your point about accountability, obviously he is unfit to be president of a debating society. And we should all agree that, right? We all like to debate, right? But if you were suddenly shot, or you were Bonnie, or you were James, or God forbid, I wouldn't expect anyone here to celebrate that news publicly in the way that guy did. So we should be able to agree that some of the parameters here shouldn't be very contentious, right? And that is that if you do something as despicable as that, I don't want you arrested for it. I don't want you put in a prison cell, but I do want you held accountable for what you said. And if what you've done is completely incompatible with the position that you're trying to occupy, which clearly it is, you can't be here, we run a debating society and celebrate people being killed for their views, then you should not be doing it.
I was on the Oxford Union debate, actually.
Sorry?
So what's interesting, I was actually on the Oxford Union debate earlier this year with Dave Rubin. When you had him on your show that week, I was actually on that debate. And so I do know the players there. And I think what's important to note is, like, your point is correct. The way in which we define who we choose to counsel is based on our own standards, or the standards to which you're upholding the role, which is about civility. And often what happens, what I notice with people on the right, is that they'll claim that they're being counseled when said audience or said group holds them accountable to the standards to which they've agreed to. So if you are a school teacher and you're making inappropriate remarks about your students that could be considered racist or sexist or problematic, and you lose your job for that, you're not counseled for that. And I think that that's the problem.
I agree.
Is that people are using that. So that's what I believe in. That's what counsel culture is about. I think it's about accountability in that type of way. I'm not saying that the government should stop your First Amendment rights, but I am saying that you know, the court of public opinion can weigh, which is what I was saying about Kevin Spacey.
At least we may have very rarely have reached a point of almost agreeing with each other. So on that bombshell,
it took us 2 years.
It's taken a while, but I'll let you go. Thank you very much, Ernest. I want to bring in Dale Vince now, the eco-entrepreneur, a financial backer of the dearly departed Just Stop Oil. Welcome back, Vince. Dale, how are you?
Thanks, Piers. Good to see you again. I was really enjoying watching you and the panel just now, and I agree with you. My conclusion was the same. You got to the end and you all had more in common than you had in difference.
Which I suspect is probably the case. I do think that social media in particular whips things up into sometimes what seems to me like quite artificial culture wars. What we've lost somehow, I do blame a lot of this on social media, we've lost the ability to have passionate debate and then agree to disagree. And my argument about some of the elements of the woke left is that they began to behave in the last few years rather like the fascists they profess to hate most. And that's what I dislike about it. I've always liked a good debate. I've debated with you. But I don't want you destroyed for your views. I might want to destroy your argument, and you might want to destroy mine. But I wish you personally no animus at all. And in terms of the eco situation, for example, I was asked today in an interview about net zero. Piers, what is your view of net zero? I said, well, look, my view is nuanced, something we don't see much of these days. I would love to get to a place of net zero. I just don't think we can do it quickly. I think we should have the aspiration to do it as fast as possible without bankrupting countries. I don't think that's a contentious view. I would say that's a pragmatic view, and I would say that it will take a number of years to do this, but there should be a concerted global effort to aspire to get there sooner rather than later. But if you try and say, as Greta Thunberg does, we've got to do this right now before the planet burns down in 5 minutes, it's a kind of ludicrous place, where I feel she loses credibility and doesn't bring people with her. Similarly, in your area with the protesters on the eco side, when they're running around ruining everybody's fun, they're going to the cricket and they're trying to ruin the test match wicket, or they go to the snooker, they're throwing their paint all over the snooker bays, whatever it may be, when they're shutting down bridges that people can't get to, in some cases funerals or hospital appointments. When they do stuff like that, I don't think they bring people with them. They might think they do, and they might think the ascendant publicity they get is worth it. But actually, if it's always negative and all you're doing is pissing people off, I don't think it's effective. It doesn't work.
Yep. So where to start with all of that? I think your view on net zero is actually the common view. Actually, we conducted this thing called a Giga poll about a month ago. We launched it a couple of weeks ago. We polled 50,000 people in our country. It's the biggest poll ever by breadth and by depth. We asked them 80 questions on a whole range of topics, and one of the things we got back was that the vast majority of people in our country believe that the climate crisis is a big threat to them and to their families in the future, and they want something done about it. They support net zero. But at the same time, a big chunk of those people, in fact half of those people, or half of the people we polled, said basically they were worried that we could afford it. Perfectly valid worry. What you expressed was a concern that we were going too fast. Those things travel together in the current, I'm going to call it this, right-wing narrative that we're hearing, particularly from Nigel Farage and from Kemi Badenoch, that net zero is somehow suddenly a bad idea and will bankrupt the country, and we're moving too fast. Those arguments deserve scrutiny rather than just being accepted, and I'm up for that. The idea that left-wing people are becoming like the right-wing, the fascists that they despise. I mean, you know, there's something in there, but the big difference between the protesters and their orange paint and right-wing people using violence is the lack of violence in the left-wing protests of Just Stop Oil that you talked about. They put themselves in harm's way. Yes, they piss people off. There's no doubt about that. I think we've talked about that a lot, you and I think the trade-off was worth it for a period of time. And then there was a point in time at which it didn't any longer make sense, and I kind of moved in a different direction and supported Labour to get them through the election. So, I mean, again, I agree with most of what you say. I think we need to scrutinise these arguments that are being made, not just polarise and lob bricks at each other.
Gold is up by more than 40% in value since the beginning of this year, and today's sponsor, Birch Gold, is marking vet. I don't disagree with that. I mean, I'm going to play a clip. This was when the vegan activist Joey Carbstrong came on to talk about his campaign against a restaurateur who had banned vegans. Let's take a look. Why don't you play me the sound of billions of bees being murdered? Well, I know that animals get killed so I can eat pigs.
They're screaming to death.
Right.
Look at them, face them.
What do you think bees do?
Face them, they're
What do you think bees do when you murder them?
They get killed by mice. This is gas chamber, look at it.
No.
You don't even want to look at it.
They get slaughtered.
You're a coward.
I'm not cowardly.
Look at it.
I know that animals get slaughtered so that I can eat animal meat.
I stuck this camera in this gas chamber in the UK at Pilgrim's Pride, and they scream for their lives, and every single animal welfare
here's my problem. Here's my problem.
And you eat bacon and you promote it.
I love bacon.
You promote it.
I love bacon.
You say you're against that.
I love sausages. I love it all. I love eating meat. Now, you see, the thing is, he was never going to persuade me, because I do love eating meat.
I love eating meat. No diddy. Pause.
And by the way, spoiler alert, animals eat animals. That's how they all survive in the bush. I write this in the book, specifically about in my view, the rank hypocrisy of a lot of vegans. Hectoring and hypocrisy are, again, the main issues I have. The vegan millennial meal of choice is...
Hey, but, no Diddy, no Epstein, man. I gotta add some protein on my plate, too, man. I'm gonna eat that bacon. I'm gonna eat that, steak. I'm gonna eat some bird. I'm gonna eat some fish. Hey, man. Might eat, deer. Little gamey. We know how to get around that, man. Straight up.
Avocado toast with almond milk latte, but large-scale production of both avocados and almonds is disastrous for the environment. They don't want to talk about it, so I will. First, it decimates bees without
Appreciate you, Darky.
flowers or crops. Secondly, both almond and avocado trees gulp preposterous quantities of water from already parched lands. It takes 4 litres of water to grow one single almond and 150 almonds to make a single carton of almond milk. An avocado tree.
Yeah, I'm allergic to seafood, but y'all do need to go holler at Sticko's, because I'm gonna show y'all their menu in a second, because they got some boudin bars and some other shit over there that I really want to go try, man. That's one of one of the family members, it's their family, they just went on a new venture and opened up a seafood restaurant. That's why I keep promoting it. It's not sponsored or nothing like that. It's just the shit. My partner was like, look, man, my people just moved out there, opened up this restaurant. Can you give them a shout out or two for me? I'm like, yeah, I got you, no doubt. But then I looked at the menu. I was just saying no doubt, like, you know, because that's my partner. Like, shit, I got you, but when I looked at the menu, I'm not gonna lie, I gotta go over there. I only eat seafood, but they got some other shit over. Like, the seafood looks crazy. They got crawfish and that thing and everything, but I gotta go over there and see what they talking about, because they got some boudin balls, they got some little sides and shit. I gotta go over there.
He inhales 320 litres of water to produce just one avocado. Every single order of Instagram's most ubiquitous brunch choice has ingested enough water to hydrate a child for a year, but I'm the monster because I like cheese. Now, I'm sorry, but I present the evidence, you know, for my defense of this, is that underpinning a lot of these eco campaigns is a hypocrisy. And I do think in the vegan case, if you're strict vegan and you genuinely care about the plight of living creatures, you can't be guzzling avocados and almonds, because billions of bees get killed and it's environmentally disastrous. Do you agree, Dale Vince?
This reminds me, we've talked about this before on your show, if you remember, and you asked me if I ate avocados repeatedly, and I told you I do, but it's occasional, it's not frequent. The idea that vegans eat avocados every day is silly. Maybe there was a lot of them on Instagram, but it doesn't represent what plant-based people eat. I think you told me that all the avocados in the world came from America or somewhere like that.
Yeah, it's a massive.
One time I was working at Subway, chat. I was working at Subway, and there was this dude. He used to come in there, and he was like a vegetarian, and he used to always get a veggie wrap, and he would load that motherfucker up with nothing but veggies, like lettuce, spinach, and tomatoes, and onions and shit. A little sauce, salt and pepper, and he'll walk smooth out that bitch. I'm like, ain't no way you just came in this motherfucker and got
from California, yeah.
That's right. And I said to you, actually, I get them from Spain, and you asked me how.
Yeah.
How do I know that? And I said, well, I read the label, Pierce. Do you remember that?
And then, too, chat, another thing, when I was working there, people would come in that motherfucker and get a meatball sub with the mayo on it. I just thought that was so disgusting to me. Like, I could not fathom walking into a Subway and asking for a meatball sandwich with extra mayo on it. Like, what?
I asked you how they got to you from Spain. It's obviously not that environmentally friendly, is it?
No, you asked me how I knew my avocados didn't come from the USA.
Right.
And I did research, and only 20% of the avocados in the world actually come from the USA. So I agree with you, right? It's about facts, and your facts, your presentation of facts, is only partial in your book from what you just described. Because if you went on to compare almond milk to dairy milk, you would find dairy milk is the most water-intensive form of milk that we can have. Almond is the worst of the alternatives in water consumption. Oat is probably the best. There's a range of them, but dairy milk outpaces them all in water consumption.
Apparently 40% of the world's is it avocados or almonds? Just 40% of the world's avocados come from Mexico, which is just as far as California.
They originally come from
It's a little bit further.
Yeah.
That's their home.
Yes, they would get the mayonnaise with the red meatballs with the red sauce, and it wasn't just one part. Like, it was people was coming to get that. Like, that was they shit. And then, yes, the tuna sandwiches used to piss me off too. Who said something about the tuna sandwich? Graham. The tuna sandwich used to piss me off too, because they would want it heated. Like, why the fuck do you want to come in this Subway and get a toasted, heated tuna sandwich? Now the whole damn Subway smell like just hot tuna. Like, bro, what's to you, my boy? Warm that bitch up at home.
The point was, they don't all come from America, and facts are really important. And you had a fact that you thought supported your argument.
Well, I think it's 80%. Well, I think you're conflating the two things. I think it's about 80% of the world's almonds come from California specifically. It's an incredibly
No, we're talking about avocados. No, we're talking about avocados, because I definitely told you I got the avocados that I did eat were from Spain.
But do you agree, if you're a genuine, pure vegan, and your position is you don't like killing animals, you can't eat avocados or almonds. You can't.
Well, here's the thing. All the plants that we eat are pollinated by bees in the world. Insects. That happens. Pollinators have a crucial role to play. The farming of bees and the using of them, the harnessing them in vast numbers to run farms for avocados and stuff is not something that I agree with.
Do you know how many bees? Genuine question. How many bees get killed every year in the pollination process in California?
You told me before that it was billions.
50 billion bees on average.
That's a lot.
50 billion.
What I was going on to say.
Why don't you guys care about the little guys?
That's what you said before.
It's a good line, because it's true.
It's a great line. I just wanted to say I don't eat honey because actually, that's...
I do. I'm going to tear that honey up too, man. I appreciate the bees, man. Shout out to the bees for the cross-pollination and all of that good shit. Them honeycombs, man. I'm not going to lie. I be on the YouTube shorts looking at people break off them big honeycombs and shit. I just be wanting to do it, but I don't want to get stung the fuck up. Man, I like the honey. Chill out, man. What is we talking about here?
The extent to which I'm plant-based, I don't eat honey. So... I have the occasional avocado. They come from Spain.
I think I'm turning you into a purer version of yourself. And actually, you know what? And here's the point. It's actually an interesting debate. I've become a world expert in almonds and avocados, something I never thought I'd be, all the lifespan of bees in California. But it should be something we should be able to debate without everyone losing their minds. And we should be able to reach points of consensus. Because, I'm not an immovable object when it comes to these things. And actually, one of my arguments about the woke left is I identified for the last 20 years of my life as a kind of pretty liberal bloke. I was editor of the Daily Mirror for 10 years. You don't get to do that if you're a right-wing headbanger. But I just find so little in common with this kind of very puritanical, censorious, judgmental view of life where you either conform to this narrow worldview or you have to be destroyed. I think it's been damaging to society.
And that's on the right, too.
It can happen on the right. I don't disagree.
It does happen on the right. That's on the right.
And it was great that you said woke left.
Right, exactly.
That does admit that there is a
woke right. I made the point.
Absolutely.
Look, I agree with you, and I think it should be about facts. And when we first debated this, you thought you had well-being facts on almonds and avocados, and they weren't right. Now you've come back with improved facts. I like that.
See,
the fact you're missing in
Chad, do y'all like avocados? See, I like avocado salsa. Like when I go to the Mexican restaurant, I gotta get the green salsa, the avocado salsa. I don't like red sauce. I gotta have that spicy green avocado salsa. Now, when it comes to regular avocados, every now and then avocado on toast with the egg and shit aside, but I'm not just, it's a little overrated to me,
Milk description in your book is dairy milk. You need to improve your facts to show the whole picture. And I love to debate facts. Facts inform arguments. Facts can persuade people. And that's where I'm at. Not lobbing insults at people and trying to drive their own behavior just because of what I think.
Okay. Dale, it's good to talk to you. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not eating no guacamole. I ain't eating no guacamole. I'm cool. Hold the guac. No guac.
Move to another issue now. Professor Gansad, the evolutionary behavior scientist, who is not woke, but was one of the first to take issue with the name of my new book. Gang, welcome back to Uncensored. What is wrong with Woke is Dead?
Well, thanks for having me back. I haven't read it yet, but just from the title, it's a bit presumptuous to celebrate that all of the parasitic ideas that constitute wokeism are now eviscerated.
Well, I don't say, to be clear, I don't say this. This is more an aspirational title. I make it clear the woke is still there, it's dying out, and the reason I say that is you're seeing screeching reversal.
Yeah, I had quit eating pork for like 4 years, but shit, I had started back. And yeah, we've been rocking out, man. I ain't gonna lie. I like that thick cut applewood bacon, you know what I'm saying? Hickory smoked bacon, man. I really don't eat pork chops no more, but yeah, I'm gonna fuck some bacon up, man. Like bacon burgers, bacon, egg and cheese, bacon, eggs and toast. Yeah, and pork ribs. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck some pork ribs up too. I'm gonna lie. Fuck them pork ribs up.
now around the world in things like corporate DEI policies, in the trans issue of trans athletes in women's sport. Time and again we're seeing the reaction to things like the Graham Linehan arrest immediately reversed by, I think, huge public opinion against it. What you're seeing is a response now from, I believe, the majority of people who have a common sense valve saying, we're just not having this anymore, sorry. So that's what I mean by, I believe the ideology is dying out, but we have to make sure it is killed off, because I do believe, genuinely, it's been very damaging.
I mean, it's undoubtedly true that there has been a bit of an autocorrection. I mean, just having Donald Trump win the presidency resulted in immediate executive orders that reversed many of the nonsense. But to draw an analogy from biology, there's something called viral latency in biology, right? Where a virus can lay dormant in you for years, if not decades, before it gets activated. Take, for example, the shingles virus, which would be relevant to people that are roughly our respective ages. It could be in you from childhood, and then it only hits you when you're in your 50s and 60s. So these parasitic ideas that constitute wokeism took between 50 to 100 years to first be spawned and then proliferate from the university ecosystem. So it'll take much longer than what you're talking about, the reversal of the DEI stuff or Donald Trump. It's going to require many, many years of eviscerating these dreadful ideas. But yes, I am hopeful just like you are.
That's actually an insane thing to say, though.
What's the best part of the pig to eat? Probably them damn pork ribs. I ain't gonna bullshit you, man. Boy, put them smoke them pork ribs right, boy. I ain't gonna lie, man. No cap, bro. That bacon be good too, man. But like everything else, I can do without. You know what I'm saying? I can really do without pork, but hey, that bacon and them pork ribs probably the best, man. Straight out.
Wokeism, or whatever you want to call it, has existed since literally when Jesus was here. Jesus was woke. I mean, that's the whole point. Love thy neighbor, have empathy for people. And he was literally killed for speaking truth to power. So what you're talking about is not something that's only existed for the last 50
but just to be clear, we're not you're implying that people who reject the wokeism are somehow against kindness or empathy or those things. I'm not. I want people to be kind and empathetic. It's the scolding, the vilifying, the shaming, the cancelling
that seems to be coming from the right.
Well, I'm
towards the left, especially in the case of your book.
Well, no, it doesn't actually. If you read the book,
well, I've read some of the book.
Nah, my cousin be eating hog maws and shit and chitlins, and I'm cool off of it, man. I'm cool on the hog maws. I'm cool on the chitlins. I'm cool on the pig feet. I'm cool on the pig ears. I'm cool. I'm just cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool, bro.
Read it all. If you
read some of the book,
as always,
you blame the left.
You come with a limited amount of information on which you base your statements.
Am I wrong by saying that you say that the left have basically, the Me Too movement have basically caused men to feel like they can't flirt with women? Isn't that what you say?
I said, if you read the book, I say that there are a lot of bad men who've done bad things, but actually the over-demonization of things like masculinity.
So you're blaming
really, the left. I've just phrased it very deliberately. There are bad men and there are bad women. Right, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I like them oxtails, man. Them oxtails good, but them oxtails ain't got high as hell. I ain't gonna lie. They want last time I bought some oxtails, I think I got 3 oxtails for like $18, bro. It was like 3 oxtails in that pack for like $18, bro.
Or masculinity, these are things that should be treasured and prized in a civilized, free, democratic society. Coming back to Gad, I want to play a clip. This is of Lily Gaddis, who came on to try and defend, to me, the indefensible. Let's take a look. I mean, would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
I do, quite frequently.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist, I'm a neo-Nazi,
yeah, well, if you use the N-word repeatedly, you are a racist then, are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendricks is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying, Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter.
I mean, a pretty staggering thing to say on a show like this. I want to read a quote, Gad, from the book about this issue. I said, we're now seeing the first early murmurings of a new brand of silliness from right-wing people who have spent years railing against all things woke. They have very different opinions about the world.
Yeah, I'm not eating no menudo. I'm cool off the menudo. I'm cool off of all of that, man. I don't want no chorizo, no menudo. I don't want none of that.
But use the woke tactical playbook to win arguments and get what they want. You don't have to travel far on social media before you encounter a furious straight white Christian man who's convinced the whole world is against him. And I do believe that is becoming an increasing issue. In the same way that I found a lot of the woke activists incredibly hypocritical, I also think it's very hypocritical of people on the right to start behaving like the very people they've been criticizing for years for being hypocritical wokies.
Right, so let me tie what you just asked with what the gentleman before mentioned about Jesus. The idea that human minds can be parasitized has existed since time immemorial. So in that sense, he's right. But wokeism involves a specific set of bad ideas.
Oh, you said what brand? Oh, these them Clover Valley joints. These the Dollar General joints, man. These the Dollar General fudge peanut butter cookies. You know, I ain't made it yet. I ain't got all of it. I ain't made it yet. I don't know what kind of fudge peanut butter cookies y'all eating, but these the Clover Valley joints, man. Straight out the Dollar General.
200-300 years ago, we used to think that it was a good idea to throw a woman into a body of water, and if she swam, that meant that she was a witch. So the capacity for human minds to be parasitized has always existed. The term wokeism relates to specific parasitic ideas that are contemporary. Regarding your other point, both people on the right and on the left could have parasitized minds. So for example, when it comes to accepting evolution, it's people on the right that are against it. But when it comes to applying evolution to the study of the human mind, it's people on the left that are against it. So it's not a political orientation issue, although all of the parasitic ideas that constitute wokeism do stem from the left, because all of those ideas come from the university ecosystem, and it is largely professors on the left that inhabit the university ecosystem.
Do you believe it's dying, wokeism, as a concept, as an ideology?
See, I like jerk chicken, but it gotta be good jerk. I done had bad jerk chicken. I done had good jerk chicken. I need if it ain't got that kick to it, don't call it that. You know what I'm saying? I done had some, nah, man. And then when I mean jerk chicken, like I really don't want the breast and nothing. Like when I'm eating jerk chicken, I kind of want, you know what I mean? Like I like jerk wings.
And not fully. So that's why I wouldn't throw the celebration parades yet. For example, in Canada, we don't have an agent of change like Donald Trump, and so I recently had to appear in front of a House of Commons committee where I was trying to argue that it is wrong to use DEI when judging scientific excellence. But for many of the people that serve in the Canadian Parliament, that was blasphemous for me to say that, right? And so yes, there is some autocorrection taking place, but I wouldn't throw the party yet.
Donald Trump is an agent of change. What change?
Well, Donald Trump is clearly an agent of change. You may not like the change.
No, I'd like to know what the change is.
Can I offer one?
Yeah, offer again.
Not having 6'4" women with 9-inch penises that used to be called Bubba yesterday, but today are called Linda, sharing the bathroom with my 13-year-old daughter would constitute a return.
Now, can you answer the question in a silly way? Because I don't know anybody 6'9". Can you answer the question in terms of what you mean?
I've never seen a penis that big.
And a penis that long. So can you answer it in terms of real world things? What do you mean?
Having reversed the policy of having trans women, i.e. biological men, competing in women's sport until 15 minutes ago,
Nah, Eric, this not a cooking channel. We just hanging out tonight, though. We hanging out. We getting to know each other. You know what I'm saying? Getting acquainted. You know what I'm saying? I like chicken and waffles too. I do like chicken and waffles.
117 billion people that had existed on Earth throughout human history seem to be able to navigate through the very difficult conundrum of what constitutes male and female. But 15 minutes ago, we were no longer able to do that.
Well, actually, you're wrong, because there have been cultures in which they have made definitions of what male and female are, and they're not majority cultures. They're not the ones that we live in, but through human history, this has always been an issue. Always.
In those cultures that you're referring to, which I'm very familiar with the field of cultural anthropology,
yes.
When people decided to mate in those cultures, did they typically mate by having two phenotypes called male and female get together?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right, so but I'm saying you're absolutely right.
So they knew what male and female was.
You're absolutely right, but you do know as well that there were...
I didn't know barbacoa was cow tongue. I done ate that shit a couple times. It was alright. You know, I'm country. That shit really don't bother me. Like, when I find out shit is something... I eat raccoon, Chad. I tell you, I'll undress a squirrel out this motherfucker. But I like spaghetti and catfish. You know what I'm saying? I like the catfish with the spaghetti, but I be having to make the spaghetti. Like, I don't even... I have to make the spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? Just watch out.
There were cultures in which those two things flow back and forth. When you're talking about procreation, of course that's true. But there are also definitions of male and female that went back and forth.
We're straying into actually a different area, which I want to discuss with another guest. Gab, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it very much. Good to have you back. I want to bring in Blossom now to talk about this trans issue. Blossom, welcome back to Uncensored. Here's the clip we're going to play you.
You know, Riley, I think you're just trying to make it seem like that trans people are a threat to cis women in the breast room, and that's not the case. Trans women and cis women should be coming together. Trans women are not a threat to cis women. Okay, but here's the look. Blossom. And I think that y'all have ran on that ideology. Y'all have ran on that ideology for a very long time.
Hang on.
And you're going to have to specifically tell me cases. Can you specifically tell me cases of where trans women have...
Well, Blossom, that was you and Riley Gaines debating the Trump trans in women's sport ban. I say in the book, trans women in female sports is cheating on steroids or hormonal therapy anyway. And as with so much in the woke obituary, the kid gloves are now off. Polite and reasoned objection was met with increasing insults to common sense, till eventually the whole farce was flattened by a clunking fist. That clunking fist being Donald Trump winning back the White House and making one of his first acts, banning trans athletes in women's sport, because he understands that most people think it's unfair. Now, that doesn't mean, Blossom, that I have any problem with trans people. It just means they can't compete against women in women's sport because they're biologically male, so have an advantage.
I see you're still acting stupid, Piers. How are you? Did you miss me?
Not massively, no. Actually, I did a bit, Blossom. Yeah. I did a bit.
Love it, Blossom.
Listen, Piers, let me tell you something. Being trans starts with gender identity, not biological sex. So until you acknowledge that conversation, we can't really have a conversation.
No.
Y'all
To be
refuse
clear,
to look at the
let me deal with that head on. You are entitled to identify as anything you like. You will never have any. No complaint with me. The problem comes when you try and compel everybody else to respect whatever their identity is.
I ain't trying to compel everybody else to understand. Hang on. Because you interrupted a black trans woman. Do not interrupt a black trans woman when she's speaking.
Talking,
what
girl,
I'm trying to say to you.
Well, you asked me a question.
Talk about it.
You asked me a question.
Let women speak. Let women speak, Piers.
Thank you. See, I'm a big fan of both of y'all, by the way.
I'm a big fan of you.
I love you.
Love you.
All right, can we stop this annoying you?
Take up space, baby girl.
Come on, baby. Take it. Take it.
Yeah. It's just about being on a whole spectrum. Nobody is saying that people cannot have their views on trans people, but let's speak facts. Trans women do not have a benefit over cis women in sports because even with Riley Gaines is still a 5th place loser. 4 biological women beat her in that sport. It's just that ironically, Leah Thomas, a trans woman, tied with her, and she made it a big deal.
Missing
she
the
got
point.
Clout off of that.
You're missing the
She
point,
got clout
Blossom.
off of that.
Blossom.
And see, y'all are
Permission to speak, Blossom. Permission to speak.
Yeah, hold on.
Permission to speak.
Hang on. I'm gonna land my plane.
Hang on. How did Leah Thomas perform when she performed as a man in the swimming pool?
Hold on, just a second. Let me land this or whatnot. Y'all are coining it the term woke, but I find it ironically, Pierce, that you use African American vernacular as the title of your book to benefit from it. When it's been culturally rooted in the 1930s in the black community.
Further back than that.
You are trying to profit and benefit off of black folks.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me make an example. When you go promote this book over on Fox and Friends, when you booty clap them cheeks,
which I will be, by the way, in about a week. Woke is Dead will be on Fox and Friends.
Let me tell you something. You're going to have that one black MAGA slave that work over there at Fox and Friends kiss your feet and worship you because you have white privilege.
Right.
You are a product of white supremacy and you are a colonizer.
Right.
Colonizer. Colonizer.
Anything else you want to call me, Blossom?
And also, can I add to that? This book wouldn't
I got that off
exist.
my chest. And by the way, it's Blossom C. Brown, so make sure you get it right.
And woke is a black American expression. And I'm going to tell you this from history. And that's the tragedy about it. And Pierce, I'm going to say to you, I know you wouldn't denigrate, and I know you wouldn't denigrate something if you got the whole history of it. I know you wouldn't do it. But woke was the password.
Jason, chill out.
I know.
Because what happened, okay, it's in there? Okay, so I don't know who appropriated woke, and I don't know why they did. But we need to go back to a beautiful expression that's being trashed or being misused. And I want to stand up for woke. I want to stand up for the word.
The problem is,
because my ancestors, my ancestors and Blossom's ancestors, when we were escaping slavery, you followed the Big Dipper. And when you went to a safe house, the password was woke.
Yes, I don't remember anybody. Listen, I hear you. I don't remember anybody in the 60s in black American music where it originated saying that woke meant that men with penises could compete. That wasn't part of
I have to clip that. I gotta clip that one. Damn. This is exactly why I don't say woke.
House, the password was woke.
Yes, I don't remember anybody. Listen, I hear you. I don't remember anybody in the 60s in black American music where it originated saying that woke meant that men with penises could compete in the swimming pool against women. Sorry, that wasn't part of wokeism.
Why are you so fascinated with body
that was not what it was about. That has been hijacked by a bunch of science-denying people who think there is genuinely no advantage to biological males against women in sport.
And there is. The science
and this was
says
never
that
what wokeism was about.
An advantage over cis women. There is something called genetics. There are some cis women with higher levels of testosterone. It's called genetics.
So what would happen,
Blossom? Biology here.
Blossom, what would happen?
It's biology.
What would happen?
You keep saying that people don't believe in science. I don't think you or the right believe it.
My friend James wants to have a gender-neutral Olympics. Next Olympics, which is LA actually. Would you support that?
You've asked me this last time, and I got a lot of flack about it.
Yeah,
yes,
so what's the
I
answer?
do believe the Paralympics and the Olympics can be played together because I believe with the Paralympics, they can be able to be more supported, just like the Olympics.
Sorry, you would like to put the Paralympians into the regular Olympics?
Yes, I do. So that way, some of them.
You know what, Blossom? You have somehow managed to get even madder than you were last time you were here.
Let me make it actually clear.
All that would happen, just to be clear, is that no Paralympian would then win a medal. Congratulations.
Let me make it very
Congratulations
clear.
on unveiling the least fair, inclusive policy imaginable. Same if you put women and men in the same Olympics together, compete against each other. Women don't win anything.
I just want to make one tiny point.
That the Paralympics should be able to see the discrimination and the inequalities that trans people like me face when they're put in that same sport. And I'm going to stand 10 toes down on that.
I have an answer.
Who going to check me, boo-boo?
Blossom?
Who going to check me, boo-boo? I said what I
don't want to check your boo-boo.
I don't
want to check your boo-boo, Blossom, but here's the deal. Nor do I want you competing in women's sport. You can have your own. You can have your...
Like, where do these people draw the line? Like, what if a dude wants to go play in women's sports? So he's like, starts taking hormone blockers, but he never dresses like a girl. he just keeps dressing like he just starts taking hormone blockers. He's actually on some sort of treatment, but it's not going. I don't know, bro. Y'all explain that shit to me. Like, what if he just wanted to still dress like a dude, but he's like, I'm trans. You know what I'm saying? Would they go for that shit? It's like, where do we draw this fucking line, bro?
Your own category, transport,
Y'all are not going to
or
watch
you can
trans
compete
people. There are
in
not
men's
enough
sports
trans people
because
to
you're a
have their own
biological male.
category. That is why trans women play with women in sports. There are not enough trans athletes. There are less than 10 trans athletes out of 510,000 athletes. According to the NCAA, y'all don't want to hear those facts. Y'all don't want to hear those statistics.
Just to be clear,
you just want to benefit off of our experience.
Just to be clear,
that shit sound like 5v5 versus me. It sound like they could go ahead and go to the finals, man. They can go to the NCAA basketball finals. What else can you play? Bowling. They can go to the bowling finals. Golf, tennis. Today they can split it up. They got some they damn near have enough for a losers bracket in tennis or something.
Colonizer. We are disgustingly tired of you, Piers Morgan. You are colonizer.
You know what,
Get
Blossom?
over it.
I don't think you'll ever get tired of me. You love it too much. You love me too much.
You love me too.
I think you're just quietly quite attracted to me. But I'm going to leave it there.
Why do you always bring it back to that shit?
Right.
Just because we disagree with you.
Blossom, good to see you.
We're not attracted to you.
We're going to actually stick around for this one, Blossom, because we're going to end with BLM. Bonnie, I'm going to focus this with you. I want to play. This is where I was arguing with you and Paul Arone Adrian about the issue whether reparations should be paid to the African American population for previous crimes of slavery. Let's take a look.
The United Kingdom was actually on the side of the Confederacy during the Civil War, and in fact was going to send a ship to the Confederacy to fight for it when it was stopped and warned by Lincoln and paid an indemnity to the United States.
Who is going to pay me
and
my family reparations for what the Vikings did to us?
Well, I think you should seek it out.
Who's going to?
Explore it. Seek it out.
So literally, so we go back over every invasion, every bad thing. Hang on, let me finish.
It is the
Let's try and have a
ideology of
conversation.
denial.
No,
It's
it's
the
not.
ideology of
It's not. I'm
denial.
not denying anything happened.
So then let's deal with it.
Well, I've been to Scandinavia, and guess what? They're not going to pay us trillions of dollars
They
for what the
should.
Vikings did, despite my
You
best
look
efforts to
better
try
now,
and
Piers.
get
That's
it.
amazing.
What's that?
You look better now.
Well, I get better with age.
Well, you look great. No,
Yeah.
seriously.
No, James is thinking the same thing.
All right.
He just won't admit it on public camera. So I say this in my book. For a while, everything had to be racist. British MPs debated the report on why our countryside, the actual fields and forests, are racist and colonial. US protesters.
Yeah, Kobe, that's a damn man.
The idea was to eradicate
Kobe, it took you this long to figure out there was a man.
Together on the basis that some police are racist, even as carnage raged on the streets. None of the defunders ever had a good answer to the question of who else they would call if a maniac was battering down their back door. Liberal darlings like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and incoming Vice President at the time, Kamala Harris, preposterously supported these moves. So here's my point to you, Bonnie, about BLM.
Yes.
BLM came out of a truly horrific thing, the appalling murder of George Floyd, and the person that did it is serving a very
Hell nah, I ain't slow, but shit, I didn't know you just got here.
long prison sentence. Quite rightly. That 8.5-minute video is one of the worst things I've ever had to watch.
This motherfucker been on the screen about
So
10 minutes.
I think we can all agree on that, right? The question is then, how does society respond? Right? What we saw, and I think there's an interesting thing here about double standards. We saw a lot of rioting around America, a lot of cities being smashed up, a lot of damage being done, a lot of police being attacked. And yet we saw very little accountability for that compared to what happened, say, on January the 6th, when you had the Trump supporters attacking the Capitol. Again, a reprehensible incident, one that was despicable at the time, and I've said it ever since. No defense of what happened that day. And I do think Donald Trump's rhetoric fueled a lot of the behavior of those people. But if you look at the way they all got dished out with very long prison sentences, sometimes way out of kilter with what they'd actually done on the day, and compared to what happened to the BLM protesters, there is a double standard there. So whilst I completely concede...
No! But they went to the White House, bro. Like, what? Like, they ran in the White House. Like, let's be real, bro. If BLM would have ran in the White House, it would have been a massacre, bro. Like, let's just keep it all the way. BLM did $4 billion worth of damage. They fucked up. They did. But if they would have went to the White, let's be real, man. This is the White House we talking about, bro.
Black Americans have had a tougher life in the history of the United States than their white counterparts. I also think we've got to a stage now where black protesters were treated more leniently than their white counterparts on January the 6th. Can we agree that?
Can I?
Absolutely not. The January 6th rioters were
at the White House
defeated by Donald Trump. They didn't even spend prison time.
That's a different matter.
So let's make that very clear.
Why don't nobody say, like, the location? Does the location not matter? Like, are y'all not? Is this not sick? What is it? 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? Like, if anywhere you not supposed to go fucking plan, that is the place. If you could pick any address in America to pull up to plan, that 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is not the fucking one, bro. Let's be real.
Let's make that very clear. Inciting political violence.
That's because he got back.
You cannot compare apples to oranges.
I'm not talking about.
You're trying to compare a movement that is about black equality
Blossom, you're missing my point.
An insurrectionist. Like, you can't compare apples to oranges, and I think you're being intellectually dishonest by saying that.
Thank you, but the question was that.
Oh, they didn't run in the White House? They ran in the Capitol building? Okay. So, damn, same thing. Might as well been the White House. Shit. It might as well been the White House. They ran in the Capitol. Might as well been the White House.
That's your body, but thank you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry that you felt the need. I'm sorry you felt the need to interrupt another black.
No, that's all right.
All right. Okay. It was. Well, let me find the address. Capitol building. Nah, I don't want to search that, bro. They might think I'm on some bullshit. I don't need to be putting that shit in my search bar, chat. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm sleepy, bro. Maybe I'm sleepy, but I don't think I need to be putting that in my search bar in today's climate, bro.
She's right. She's right.
You speak over
she's right.
a fellow black woman.
Piers, first of all,
so my point, Bonnie, is I think there was a double standard, and that never helps anybody in what I believe is the most important thing, to be intellectually honest, right?
You're right. So let me be intellectually honest with you and say that you sound like you had actually accused Donald Trump of being responsible for January 6th.
Well, no,
well, hang on.
Not wholly.
Well, wholly,
but I do think his rhetoric inflamed the
situation.
Why
is he president of the United States?
Because Americans voted for him.
Yeah, that's a rhetorical question.
Yeah,
okay.
A lot of it is because of the woke movement driving people away from the left into the arms of the right. The Democrats in America, your beloved Democrats, have never
to the Constitution that he denigrated.
Bonnie,
Piers, come on. No,
I'm about to give you a terrible fact.
What is that?
The Democrats in America, your beloved Democrats, have never polled more unpopularly than they do right now in recorded history. You know why? They didn't get the memo from my last book.
I'm not a Democrat.
Wake Up.
I'm not a Democrat.
And they followed the woke ideology. I know,
but that's their problem.
You're not a Republican.
That's their problem. Listen, Piers, you first of all, to compare an insurrection against the Capitol of the United States, led by the president, to a bunch of boys who should be in jail, by the way, who break into Gucci's to get some shoes.
I didn't compare them.
Hang on, no, you didn't. I'm doing it.
Okay.
You cannot compare what happened in the George Floyd, which I don't.
Man, what about the dude that started the fire that caused $150 billion worth of damage in Cali? What about that dude, man? Ain't nobody talking about him. Ain't nobody talking about that dude.
Agree with. Because I've said it online. I don't understand what protesting for black rights has to do with breaking into Gucci's, okay? So if you're going to put these two things next to each other, the equivocation is deeply incorrect. Deeply incorrect. You had them in the same sentence.
All I was comparing was the punishment meted out for very similar offences.
You have put them in
If you commit acts of violence, you should be treated the same.
You have put them in No, they're not the same. An insurrection against the United States is not the same as somebody shoplifting. It isn't, Piers. You know it isn't, and we shouldn't put that on the same line.
I'm not talking about shoplifting. I'm talking about attacking police officers.
They shouldn't have.
both groups attack police officers.
You're right, and they should have been in jail. And I'm telling you this as a South Sider from Chicago. They should have been taken down. But to compare an insurrection against the United States, there is no comparison. There is no territory that you can put those two things in the same space. That's my objection to you.
On BLM, obviously, I was at the Arsenal game at the weekend, for example, against Fulham. I think that, like all these things, it's hard to stop them.
Yes.
Right? You know, it's like when people do memorials of things or whatever. It's like when you stop it without causing offence. Right? It's a problematic thing once you launch these things. But I'm not against the occasional reminder that there's racism still in football around the world, and it should be stamped out. I think racism is one of the worst things in the world. I think homophobia is. But I think transphobia is. If you genuinely despise people for being trans,
I know you do.
I hate you.
So what is your point?
My point about BLM is this.
Yes.
Did the reaction to George Floyd's murder, in the end, was that movement, you think, beneficial or not in the long term?
BLM was a kind of insurrection, and it was also an invention. The invention lasted longer than the insurrection. That's my issue with BLM. Even the title to me is banal. What does that mean? So there were people's feelings about what had happened, this horrific murder, as you will say. And I'm old enough to say to you that I've lived through several of these in my lifetime. And the BLM movement, which actually some of it was business. Literally business.
Yeah, and corrupt in some cases.
And that is my problem with that.
And also, I think the other thing, I cite in the book...
One more thing, Piers. And the fact that it became business is indicative of the fact that there were human beings involved, and they saw a retail opportunity.
And on DEI, Bonnie, my issue with DEI is that, like a lot of things, it sounds okay in principle. But the way it was executed and why it's been reversed now by most companies is because what it ended up doing was promoting mediocrity over meritocracy. That actually, I believe everyone should get the same opportunity. Right? That we should all agree on. But once that ladder starts up at any business or industry, then meritocracy should be dominant. You should be promoted based on your abilities, not on your skin color or your gender.
You're absolutely right.
Or anything. Do you agree with that?
I do, but this is the historical problem. We're in a moment where, and again, to say this from my own background and my age and where I grew up, there is a long, long history of, not you particularly, but men like you, being able to get jobs, being able to be promoted.
Sure.
So that history is being corrected very recently in historical record. So you get things like that as a way to sort of jumpstart it. I agree. I do not have an issue with you about this. But I'm saying that the reason it happens is because we've got to accelerate. We've got to accelerate equality. We must. If we don't accelerate equality, Piers, we're losing genius. We could be losing genius.
No, I don't disagree. But here's the point I would make. I don't think it helps cause of getting to genuine equality if you promote mediocrity above people's ability, and people who have more ability are suppressed in the process. Well, that actually just creates antagonism and resentment.
You're absolutely right, but you're making an assumption that I hope in your book you've given some details about. I don't know if mediocrity is overcoming ability.
There are many examples.
I don't know.
That's why they've mainly scrapped.
I don't want media. Well, no, it isn't the reason they did it. The reason they did it is because Donald Trump wanted them to do it, and also Donald Trump penalized people, and his government penalizes those who don't. I can tell you, as a person who came through affirmative action, that I wouldn't have been able to go to university if it didn't exist. I wouldn't be able to be talking to you if it didn't exist.
No, but that's a long...
No, it is a long time ago.
Not as long... I'm not being rude about...
No, I'm not. No, you say what you want.
We're talking several decades ago.
No, you say what you want because you're right. It took a long time for it to get there. And this takes a long time. It takes a long time of reevaluating, re-getting together. People want to be who they are. And in that society, we have to find mechanisms in which to do it. DEI is a method. DEI is a moment. There are going to be other things if we give each other a chance. You and I can have a debate, a decent debate, and come out of it. And there are parts of the United States where you and I would not be able to do this, and you know that. Yeah. And there are stations where you and I would not be able to sit here and have this.
Yeah,
and the people who are listening to us now They're not going to sit there and take sides with you. I'm going to get your book. They're not going to be people sitting there going to take sides with me or you. They're going to be people who are going to be enlightened because they're listening to us having a decent debate.
I agree. And you know what? Let's leave it on that positive note, because actually what I want to achieve with this book is not more acrimony and division, but people to read it and be pleasantly surprised it's not what they think it is. I think when you read it in totality, you'll come away and think, well, he's got a pretty good point here.
But I wouldn't buy it with your title, Piers.
Why?
Because I don't want to read nothing called Woke is Dead. It's a nice layout, but I don't like the title.
It is also like, it's a shame. A lot of what you're saying is right. A lot of it is conflating issues. Ultimately, I think the reason I invited you to Pride earlier is because we haven't, like, the woke left, we haven't invited you along, and we've failed that. Right. Everyone needs to feel
you'd rather just scold us old white dudes and ban us from having a white dude day, and that's fine.
What's a white dude day?
White dude day is every day.
I've got a white dude month.
White dude day is every day.
I want to say goodbye to Blossom. Blossom, it's always good fun having you on Uncensored. You're always welcome. My church is open to you, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right,
I appreciate it.
Good. Well, go and buy Woke is Dead. You might learn something.
I think we should get a free copy, considering
I think we should too.
the book wouldn't even exist. We should probably be getting royalties, because if it wasn't for the woke left, you wouldn't have a book.
Well, okay. That's an argument for another day. Guys, thank you all very much. I appreciate the civility with which we conducted.
Alright, chat, man. That's the end of that, man. We finna get up out of here. We'll be back in the morning. I have dropped some videos. If you came in late, be sure to start the live over and watch it from the beginning. We cover some crazy topics, man. Double tap the screen, shut the live out, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Good night, chat. I gotta get some sleep. I'm tired, chat. I'm tired. Good night, chat.